Good afternoon, glad to have you with us from Arden Street here for VFL Round 4 clash on Blair Morton, joined by Brent Sternberg, who's going to get us underway as Melbourne Uni get it forward.
So they send it up towards the half-forward line, and Ashmore's onto it straight away. She's going to run to 35. Her kick's just gone off the side of the boot there. The Richmond defender dropped the mark. Shot over the footy. Oh, overran it there. Now Rebecca Williams is onto it. Miller, I should say. She's gang tackled. It was a great clearance there by Melbourne Uni. Now they've locked it in, and they'll get a ball up about 10 out from their goal. Of course, only kicked the one goal last week, so they'll be looking to get on the board early here. Now, taken out of the ruck there, and a shot for goal has just gone to the near side. And I think that might have been Caitlin Cox in there for Melbourne Uni. The first score of the afternoon goes to the girls in black and blue, and Richmond will bring it out.
So Richmond winning the toss, electing to kick to the Fogarty Street end. They're a long way from home now on the last line of defence. Stuttering kick, finally away by Miller. Doesn't find her target. Gets it on the bounce. Now Melbourne Uni come in over the football. Hand pass went out looking for Bruton. Bruton now gets it back up. Just overran the handball there. Kennedy's over near it. But Melbourne Uni keep possession. Kick up to centre half forward in Garner. Garner swings around. Long right foot kick up to the full forward position. Brought down, crumbed well, went on. Didn't carry it with her. Drop ball. Now it's in real dispute. Here we go through Cox. Cox set upon. She's lost the footy. No free kick paid. Ashmore's there. Got it out. The Tigers do well through Birchall. And now a quick kick up to half back and they're out.
That was a good kick from Graham in the back line there for the Tigers to find Woodward, who was really good last week, Alana Woodward. Going up the outer wing here, the Tigers. Oh, that's a nice mark up the line there too. Right on centre wing. Richmond have it. Really nice mark there by Courtney Wakefield, who proved some problems in the forward line as well. Her kicks high one up towards wing and half forward. It's off hands. Colwell, inadvertent toe poke there. She's just going to work her opponent off it here. No, a good handball there by the Uni player. Now Masiti's in there applying a big tackle. It's spilt out and leaving the stoppage there. I think that was Ibrahim who got thrown to ground. In fact, that might have been Grace Campbell. It was. Now it's come back to the ruckman here in Elise Edmonds, who was named best on ground for the Tigers last week. She was going nowhere in that tackle. The Tigers have an inside 50. Ball up, 45 out. That was Colwell in the ruck who punched it away. Masiti for Uni. Gave it to Garner. The kick up the line. Didn't really look. And now Woodward's back there for the Tigers. Handball comes back here to Dempsey. And Dempsey's got a man on centrally. Nice kick here to find Miller. So Miller just forward of the wing. Her kick's going to go up towards the point of the square. Brennan was there, couldn't take the mark, but will win it on ground level. She gave it to Tesoriero, who tried to come through the tackle. She might have dropped that footy. Play on to the umpire. Woodward's gone in there again for the Tigers. Couldn't get out. Umpire says, I'll have it. And the Tigers will have another ball up, 55 out from their goal, attacking the Fogarty end of the ground in this first quarter.
So we're back up. Rucks go at it. Centre half forward position for Melbourne Uni. Behind the pack, player had it, brought down in a strong Conti tackle. So Richmond gained some metres back, but nothing doing and another ball up. Just inside the square, we've travelled 3.5 minutes here at Arden Street in the round 4 clash. It's brought down to Brennan. Brennan gave a bit of a don't argue, got a panicked kick down along the ground, a dribbler. Running out to meet it was Kennedy. Handball back inside to Brennan, kicks one over the corner. Getting there first is Melbourne Uni through Anwell. Anwell wanted it, couldn't keep it, dispossessed. Now the ball's in dispute. Richmond had it, gave it away. Driving her way out of a tackle nearly was Bailey, came out of it, didn't have the footy though. Now Melbourne Uni panic one up from half back. It's roved by Conti. Conti takes a bit of the sting out of it with a slower measured kick to half forward. Didn't meet her target though. Set upon underneath it was Teresorio, and the umpire's plucked a free kick to Teresorio. So she's got one for high contact. And Richmond, 50 out, true centre half forward position. Just elects for a long kick up to the top of the square. Flying mark taken,
wonderful
yes.
mark.
Richmond players got it with a lovely pack mark at full forward, top of the square. Came out to meet it. It's going to go back for their first of the day.
Courtney Wakefield it is for the Tigers. Wonderful pack mark there.
So Courtney Wakefield, 4.5 minutes in. Point blank range, directly in front here to get the Tigers off to a great start. 4.5 gone. Wakefield measures the kick. Umpire had a little bit to do and she's just pulled it. So it's one behind each. Melbourne Uni 1, Richmond 1, approaching the 5-minute mark here in the first quarter.
Danique brings it back in just with the short kick there to Riddell. In the back pocket here for Melbourne Uni. Arden Street bathed in sunshine as Riddell looks to go up the line. It's a good enough kick on. Her teammate's taking a wonderful mark going to ground. That was Alicia King. A raft of changes this week for Melbourne Uni. Alicia King, one of them, gave it back to Riddell, sent an absolute barrel back up the wing, but standing under it, Lisa Davey cuts it off for the Tigers. Got a player running around the back, but she won't give it to her. She'll go back up towards centre half forward. Edmonds was there, won it to ground. Hannah Birch will come through, but couldn't take the footy. Colwell didn't, gave it to Brennan. Brennan, just missed Woodward with the handball, but Woodward will go and win it in the end. Right on the forward 50 arc. She gave it to the skipper in Kennedy, who's kicked a wonderful kick up there towards Stahl, who come out to meet it. 35 out from goal. Taylor Stahl kicked one last week, kicked a bag of 6 in round 1. She'll go back here. She might just have the journey, I dare say. She'll come from 30, 35 out on a 45-degree angle. Tigers have played the last sort of 2 or 3 minutes or so in their forward half. So Taylor Stahl in the helmet will kick from 30 out. It's on target. It's just drifted away to the right-hand side. The Tigers have their second minor score. And they lead by 1 point. So Tigers 2 points, Melbourne Uni 1 behind.
As Melbourne Uni come out from fullback, kick up to the lead. Got there was Cox. Cox in the pocket, goes up the line, finds McDonald. Whistle's gone. McDonald plays on. Nearly set upon, she just gets the kick away. Went down looking for Grierson. Now Richmond have it. They've got it through Edmonds. She just boots it long up to centre half forward. Winning the foot race is Bailey. Handball off to Chott.
That's well done.
Chott's got some space here. Takes a bounce. Has a look. Sets it. Puts it at the top of the square, but she's pulled the kick right. Out of bounds on the full.
She'll be disappointed with that as well, Akesh Chott. She, of course, drifted forward and kicked the first goal of the game last week against Essendon for the Tigers. Just needed to sort of... She probably could have had another bounce there, really. Chott ran in and made a certainty of it. The Uni have brought it straight up the middle here again. Edmonds is over it. Coming out there was Campbell. Just managed to get the handball away and find Brennan, who broke free of 1 tackle, broke free of 2. Gave the handball here. Brancatisano's going to have to give it back. Well, she gave it to Campbell. And that wasn't a great kick from Campbell, it has to be said. And it's picked off here. I think that was Nadia Moore for the Uni Blacks. That's a good enough kick too to the outer side. Finds Gillespie Jones, who was wonderful last week. That's not a great kick. Well done by Chott in from the side. Got a hand on that, a fist I should say. Now Anwell on the half-back line. Her teammates over at heel, and she got taken high as well in there. That was a Courtney Denique. The Uni will have it right at centre half-back. Played almost 8 minutes here in this first quarter. And they've got Ashmore here on the broadcast side who takes the mark, and Ashmore can go. She'll have 1 bounce, thought about a second. That's a lovely kick inside 50, although maybe just a little bit too much on down in front there. Vivian Sard, who now's been caught. Umpire said play on, ball in the forward pocket for Melbourne Uni. The umpire will come over now and ball it up. 25-30 out from goal. Good bit of play there from Uni, but just not quite a good enough kick there from the skipper in Ashmore.
Yeah, Ashmore had the space to run into. The kick just a little bit weighty for running out with Sard. Now we're back underway. Melbourne Uni have this one. Handball went looking out for Gillespie Jones, but Brennan's there again. She's been very busy early, as you'd expect. Cooks a kick across to Brancatisano. She got the handball up, nearly finds Woodward, fumbles it, then set upon in a very strong tackle by Gillespie Jones. Wraps her up. Did well not to give away the free kick there was Woodward, with ball up right underneath the broadcast.
That was well held up there too by Melbourne Uni. The Tigers were out there, and they might be out here, although Campbell, was she taken without it? She was. Ashmore the perpetrator, and she doesn't really like that free kick there, Ashmore, but Grace Campbell never took the footy. Just backward of the wing on the broadcast side. The Tigers will have it. She's got the big ruckman, Edmonds up the line. Colwell as well. It's going to go beyond them. Wakefield went into the pack, couldn't take the mark. Colwell at ground level, just got the kick away in time. Up towards Stahl, who might have to beat a couple here. Anwell might beat her to the footy. She did. In fact, that was... not too sure who that was for Uni Blacks. That was Jazzy Garner in the end, who's still in it. Palmed it forward, Bruton. Brennan just worked her off it well. Got the handball to Chott, who fell over. It went over her head. Now Bruton's back onto it into the middle of the ground. Kick up towards centre half forward. Out to meet it is Bury, although she got a really bad bounce. Still over it though here, Bury. Got fallen on. It's come out. Tigers right on the half-back line here, and they've won the footy in the end. That was Graham who gave it to Chott. Good kick out there towards Gunn, who had a really good game last week as well, Emma Gunn. Bit of a fumble there, but the kick's a good one to find Colwell. Just outside 50, so again they're going forward with purpose, the Tigers. Colwell's just going to hold this one up. She'll just put it up towards the hot spot. Can they get a mark, the Tigers? Punched away there. That might have been from Stahl. Still having an attack here, the Tigers. Might have been taken without it here, that Melbourne Uni player. Colwell got the handball to Campbell, whose kick was smothered. Campbell might go and win it again. That was Ibrahim, in fact. Did she get jumped on? No. Umpire comes in and balls it up just inside 50 for the Tigers, who still lead by that one behind.
We're under here underneath the Choose Tap scoreboard. 10 minutes gone here in the first. Just bringing it down Richmond, but behind the ball, Melbourne Uni have numbers and they clear off half back. Kick no good though, only got as far as Graham. She sizes it up, now streaming through with the hand pass is Marsh. Marsh just puts it up top of the square, nearly taking the mark. There's a Richmond full forward, brought to ground. Melbourne Uni are over it, and a ball up as Marsh measured the kick, had a long shot at it, just not enough behind it. And full forward brought it to ground. So Richmond at the top of the square, point blank if they can crumb one. Brought down in the ruck by Edmonds. There's a scrum over the top. Now Gunn's got it. Wanted to get a panic kick out, couldn't. Stahl had it. Handball away to Terrasorio. Now a snap from Brennan. She'll get it. That's a great first goal from Katie Brennan. She's been busy early. It hits Richmond's first on the majors. 1-2-8 over Melbourne Uni, 0-1 behind 1. We've travelled 11 minutes and 15 seconds on the Choose Tap scoreboard at Arden Street.
It's well worked out too inside 50, wasn't it, from the Tigers? Just a couple of clean handballs. And Katie Brennan in everything in this first quarter around the body, and she does not miss those, the champion, does she?
I think Katie Brennan's playing at centre-half back, full forward and on the wing. She's absolutely everywhere.
And in the ruck. Well, okay, maybe not in the ruck, but it feels like she's playing everywhere.
So Tom Hunter for Richmond will be happy with that. As the umpire sides the sub is getting a count on the way here. It's just making sure everything's in check and in order. So we're approaching the first break. 12 minutes gone here on the Choose Tap scoreboard.
Release Edmonds is on the bench for the Tigers. Colwell went into the ruck and they will win the clearance, and it's that girl again, Katie Brennan, on the left foot this time. Didn't get a great bounce there, Wakefield. Oh, and neither did Gunn. Little toe poke there from Gunn. Couldn't get it going. The Tigers have it back inside 50 and they've locked it up. Brancatizano and Bailey in there, giving it back to the umpire. Was that player for Melbourne Uni. The Tigers have it to Serriero. She's been busy as well, and she's going to get a flying shot on goal. Stahl, will she take the mark or shepherd it through? Well, she's been interfered with, Taylor Stahl. And that was just a bit crude, wasn't it, there from Jenna Bruton? So Taylor Stahl's going to go back, and we'll kick the Tigers' second goal from the top of the goal square.
You're not sure what the Melbourne Uni defender was thinking there. Maybe didn't quite have her eye on her player at the top.
Nonchalantly, Taylor Stahl doesn't even break into a jog. Off about 3 steps, puts it through. The Tigers have their second. They move to 2-2-14. Melbourne University just the one behind. We're approaching 13 minutes played in this first quarter.
Yeah, so Richmond off to a great start here. They didn't have the flow of play right from the get-go as University went forward, kicked it behind, which maybe was arguably kickable, and then Richmond have responded with 2-2-14, and they look good, running on top of the ground, clean possession, moving it well, kicking straight, which is important.
I'd be worried with these centre clearances as well, Melbourne Uni, wouldn't they? They're starting to get it out of there, the Tigers.
Katie Brennan may be wearing a tag here from Bruton as well. She's very close. We'll keep an eye on that as we keep on going throughout the day as Edmonds won it down. Came out of the ruck with it too. Kicks it forward, goes up looking at the half-forward flank. Richmond have got it here, just won the foot race, handball over, now Melbourne Uni have it out on the wing with a short kick up, gets Bruton, is it? No, giving the handball was Angels. Now a long kick up to half-forward position, but it's the Tigers who are there to mop up. Here comes a kick out the wing in the direction of Dempsey, had to stand up in the mark and took it. She goes back and can survey her options up the wing. Brennan's on the lead, presents well, and there she's going to get it. It's at her feet though. Getting here first, a University. Over the footy was Woodward, the old Scotch player. Might have dragged it in, Woodward. Umpire had a good look, decided it's a ball up. Centre wing position as Brennan's throwing her weight around there. Gave Angels one to go on with. There's a little push down. Have some of that, she said. As we're back up. Rucks go at it. Brennan ran through the pack again, nearly had it. Woodward's over it again. Might have been held. Just won it out. Now coming out with it are the Tigers.
Trouble.
Wrapped up.
Yeah.
And that's a holding the ball free kick as Colwell tried to bust her way through the pack.
Well done there by Holly Whitford. She got through a couple of tackles there, Colwell. Not the third. Kick up the line's not a great one. Dempsey just reaching for it. Couldn't take the mark. Ball goes over the boundary line just between wing and half forward, and we'll get a free kick. Thought Dempsey might have got a hand on that, but the umpire said no. The Tigers are going to get a free kick for the last touch out of bounds rule. For the Tigers, bringing it in will be Shayla Marsh. The Tigers lead by 13 points. We've just gone over 15 minutes played in this first quarter. Marsh, careful little kick looking for Conti. Hit her lace out and Conti hits the ground running. Going across the back of the square. Oh, almost got caught. She's run a long way here, Monique Conti. The umpire said that was okay. She goes to the outer wing. Teammate got worked off it. Out there is Birchall for the Tigers. She's not going to get there. Getting there first was McDonald. Kick up the line, but it's cut off for the Tigers, and then they're going to go back up that outer wing. Oh, but it's a good, strong mark in there for Melbourne Uni. And they'll bring it back up towards Gillespie Jones here. Still a couple of kicks out from goal. She wheels and goes quickly. Roan is there. Drop the mark. She might win it on the ground level though, although Dempsey has her. Dempsey's not going to let her go. Marsh in there. Oh, now the umpire blew that whistle early and she did get ridden into the ground. Angelina Roan doesn't mind. Melbourne Uni get a rare stoppage inside 50. Edmonds back on the ground, palmed it away. Conti got the clearance. Almost a mark down low there. It's Ibrahim who won the footy anyway. Handball to the outer wing. It comes back to Brennan. Brennan might go to Ibrahim here if it'll sit for her. They're away to Tigers. She's got Marsh for support. Ibrahim didn't give it to her. A kick up the line's found Bailey. Laura Bailey kicked a couple of goals last week. She's got to just fall to the wing here. Not really in any hurry, Laura Bailey. She's gone over the head of Birchall. It'll sit for Brennan. Brennan pulls the kick back up towards full forward. Gunn, good use of the body, but dropped the mark. Now she applies the tackle. It's come out here, Stahl. That was clever. Brent Catazano, Campbell, goal Richmond. Although it's going to come back here for a free kick to Melbourne Uni, and that's going to save them because Campbell went into the open goal.
Lucky not to give away a penalty here as well, because the whistle was gone, and the rule is if it's clear that it's not your free kick, you kick it, you give it away. So lucky not to do it there. The Richmond attacker as she went in towards goal, and Melbourne Uni here can reset from the last line of defence. Kick long out into the pocket in Mercedes. She really had to sit under it. She got there first, so Ibrahim was coming in close.
Dangerous kick, but it paid off.
Mercedes comes up to the wing. She swung it out. The boundary umpire was in the perfect position to see that, and a mark taken. Goes up the line now, University. Brought to ground, looking for a runner. She gets one. This is Daniel.
Oh, well done, Conti.
Daniel dispossessed. Conti's got it. Goes up to centre half forward. It's a chaos ball. It's dangerous if they win it, but it's taken by Riddle. Riddle with the solution comes up and finds King. King now plays on as a player behind her lost her feet and gave her some ground. Handball now coming up the ground to Angels. Angels at centre wing. Stops and props and has a look. Comes inside the square. Good mark taken by King, who's there again. Gave it and got it. Now King's going to bring it inside 50 out onto the lead. Dropping the footy was Roan. And now Richmond get one out of defence. Put it out onto the wing. It's bouncing. Conti got it. She goes with a really dangerous kick inside. What a mark. Brennan heard the footsteps from Anvil but sat up, and now Brennan's got space. Who gave her that? She runs in, kicks it in front of Stahl. Stahl plays on.
Another one.
And here's a goal. Oh, it's hit the post. Stahl nearly had another gimme for Richmond, and it's behind. 2-3-15 University 0-1-1. 18 and a half minutes travelled on the Choose Tap scoreboard.
Probably deserved the goal too, didn't it? That was a wonderful bit of footy. What a courageous mark by Katie Brennan going back there. Right in the middle of Arden Street. Kick comes up here towards Bruton, who has it right where the 50 in the boundary meet. Bruton wants to move it on quickly. King, low down, had to go and take the mark. Conti will go and stand the mark for the Tigers. They wanted to move the ball quickly off half-back Melbourne Uni. Kick in the Roan direction, off hands from Bury. Coming through there, Riddell, was she leg? She was, so it'll come back here to Ash Riddell. Still on centre wing, just alongside the centre square. Riddell goes centrally, and now they can go, although running into a bit of trouble there, just getting the handball away. That was Danique. Now they've turned it over. Handball out from Kennedy. Birchall. Ashmore's going to wear her down here, although she lost her footing there, Birchall, and that actually helped her. Shot off the half-back line. It's a good kick. Throwing a fist at it there was the defender for Melbourne Uni. Stahl worked her off it. A toe poke out of bounds. How the umpire see that? Throw it in, they say.
I'll tell you what, Chot came through with heat there. She was absolutely flying. Probably had a little bit more space. It was a good kick. Nearly had enough weight on it. Stahl just threw her body in, tried to get out behind her defender, who did really well to bring the ball to ground and keep her out of the contest. As that throw-in not quite far enough underneath the scoreboard, the Rucks got it on the bounce. University got 20 seconds here to bring it up the wing and trouble the scorers. As it kicks out in front of Shot in a foot race, but getting there first was Gillespie Jones. Wheels around, inside, top of the squares, looking for it. Just put it in the hot spot. Hoped her teammate could get there first. But it's Richmond who do it through Tesorio. She's brought down in a tackle she tried to play on. There goes the siren. So that's the end of the first quarter here at Arden Street VFL W round 4 clash. Melbourne University, no goals, 1 behind 1. Richmond 2-3-15. Those goals kicked by Katie Brennan, who's been on fire early, and 1 goal to Stahl. I'm Blair Morton, you with Brent Stenberg. We'll go to a break, come back after this. So we're perhaps having a little bit of trouble with our...
Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's. Don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. You'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand.
Your hard yakka Totally Workwear VFL Club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL Club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches' huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
I'm a digital radio.
And I'm a digital TV. Now, you may remember when TV went digital.
Yes, and you got a lot more channels and a better picture.
Well, buying a digital radio is the same.
Exactly. I've got up to 30 extra radio stations, plus all your old faves, and I sound amazing.
Yeah, but I look amazing.
Yeah, but this is a radio ad, so no one can see you.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to hear this station like you have never heard it before,
buy a digital radio.
Head into your nearest retailer and upgrade to digital.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. You'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Live on SEN2 DAB+.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Looks to be the last game of the first set. Almagro leading 5-3.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Welcome back here at Arden Street. Glad to have your company, Blair Morton and Brent Stenberg here, round 4 VFL Women's Clash at a ground that hasn't seen much footy, Brent, in a long time. Arden Street being a trading facility for North Melbourne. Of course, we're here for the VFL double header today, the women's game between University and Richmond, rolling into a VFL clash between North Melbourne and Richmond, which will be their first here at Arden Street in a long time. But having a look at the game in front of us today, the women, we saw Katie Brennan really busy early, got a goal on the scoreboard. Stahl was good, kicked one and troubled for a couple more. Chott looked good as well. How do you see the players?
I think Melbourne Uni will be disappointed. They would have looked at this game, and one of the things that they would have been really wary of was shutting down the influence that Brennan, Monique Conti and a couple of those girls have in the middle, and they haven't done it. They've been running rings around them in that midfield. Edmonds as well. She actually spent a large part of that quarter on the bench, at least Edmonds, and Colwell went into the ruck and was just as good. Won a couple of clearances, but they've had their inside 50s and their chances in there. Melbourne Uni, they are a team that know how to score. They scored 77 and 74 the first couple of weeks before last week in ordinary conditions. They kicked one goal 6 against the Bulldogs and lost by 10 points. So they are a team that know how to score, but unfortunately they're playing a team that know how to score as well. Richmond 79 in round 1, had to buy in round 2, and then 58 last week, and ironically won their first 2 games of the season, the Tigers, in round 1s and 3 by the exact same margin, 35 points. So there's one for the people who like a bit of numerology, I think they call it. So yeah, but they'll be looking to get back into this game starting in the middle. I think they've been absolutely slaughtered in there, starting with Katie Brennan. Ashmore's been okay. Riddell's had a bit of the footy, but mostly off half-back, so they'll be looking to start in the engine room to get back in this game. Only a 14-point margin. They know how to score, as we said, so it's not beyond them.
Looking at the middle, we saw Bruton definitely lined up on Brennan on more than one occasion. Not sure if it's like a hard tag. Does seem to be playing with her. Do you think Brennan's taggable? Is she worth tagging, or do you play a sort of team defence on her and just try and quieten her in everywhere that she gets?
Yeah, I would do that. If you're going to send out a traditional tag, I'd actually go to Monique Conti, to be honest, and then just try and shut down Brennan using that team defence. But Bruton, I think Bruton has gone with her. She's been side by side with Brennan when the ball's been in the middle, and Bruton herself has won some of the footy, and that's going to be a natural byproduct if you're going to run with someone like Katie Brennan. So that's obviously, you know, they've targeted Katie Brennan, Melbourne Uni, but so far that tag hasn't really worked. I think it's safe to say she's got plenty of the ball, Katie Brennan, and kicked a goal. So yeah, they'd want to get her under wraps. Otherwise, the Tigers are going to go on and have a big win. You'd have to suspect.
As we're just getting the field set here, few VFL players slow to get off. They're keen to be out there today as the umpire surveys our action.
And Bruton is standing next to Monique Conti as well in this first centre bounce for the second quarter. So there we go. That's interesting to see.
There you go. Scott Gowans might have heard you from up here, Brent. He's followed your advice. Conti has been very busy, bullish early, smashing through packs, finding it everywhere and using it pretty well.
Interesting to note, she's in the number 4 as well today. Wore 41 last week in her first game for Richmond. The Tigers have a couple of big-name players wearing the number 4 jumper, don't they, as we're back into the middle. Lesby Jones went to ground. Oh, big tackle from behind there. That might have been, I think that might have been Conti. Melbourne Uni looking to win this first clearance. Wouldn't quite sit up there for Hay. Here is Bruton. Little left foot kick, didn't get much distance. Now Woodward's going to go and win it for the Tigers. Inside 50, it's gone over the head of Bailey, but she got a nice bounce. Handball over the top, look who it is, Brennan. Oh, but she's been run down. Just got a handball away. That was Garner who got her. Colwell in there, couldn't win the footy. They might have taken Mercedes high, play on. Going in there and getting Mercedes was Gunn. The umpire said holding the man there, I think. Mercedes will have it in the back pocket. Got a hold up again here, University, on the last line of defence. Not a great kick to Riddell. That might have been a bump ball, but the umpire did pay the mark. Now this is Walsh. They look to move it to the outer side. Walsh has a player on over the top here. The kick is going to go beyond her, and the Tigers have numbers. That was well done. Socket forward there by Sard. Ball's come to centre wing. This is a good bit of footy here by Melbourne Uni. Gillespie Jones kick up towards the half-forward line. Beery reaching for it, couldn't get there. Oh, just overrunning the footy there, and there might have been taken high herself. That was Nadia Moore, who ends up on the bottom of that pack. Get a ball up inside 50, 40 around or so. From the Melbourne Uni goal, who trailed by 14 points.
Wonder if they blazed away there. They had Ashmore as the one runner out, who might have been able to sit and handle it a little bit better inside 50 with a measured kick. Instead they went long out to a contest. But we're back underway underneath the scoreboard. It's a scrum going nowhere. No result. The umpire calls another ball up. We're nearly 2 minutes gone here at the first quarter at Arden Street. Choose tap scoreboard. Clash between Melbourne University and Richmond, which Richmond are leading by a couple of goals. Coming out of it was Bruton there, had a snap smothered, was kicked for goal. Now there's a shot on, snap around the corners, pulled across and missed at the Fogarty Street end. And it's one more behind to Melbourne University, who are starting to pepper the scoreboard a little bit, but yet to get that elusive major. 0-2-2, trail Richmond 2-3-15, 2 minutes gone on the Choose Tap scoreboard as we're retrieving the ball.
I'll be sick of those minor behinds, or minor scores I should say. They had 6 behinds last week.
Yeah, Scott Gowans will be ruining that. He's wasteful in front of goal.
To bring it in for the Tigers is Dempsey. Going to go straight up the line. Conti, dangerous kick there, Blair, I know, but it's worked out all right. Conti has it about 30 out from her own goal. She's going to sit it on the head of Edmonds. In from the side, off hands. Gillespie Jones throws it back on the boot. It goes back inside 50, but Conti comes out, makes it hers and plays on. She's going to have to get around one here. She had a bounce. Kick up the line. It's a nice kick. Can Bailey get there? Or Brennan Bailey took the mark, or did she spill it over the line? Needed a bit more talk there from the Tiger players. That was actually Woodward coming in from the side.
Conti again then. She's done it a couple of times now. Gets it off half back and runs laterally. Like runs completely sideways. Yeah. It's a clever technique. She gets herself some space. She found herself right up against the boundary line that time though.
Got a free kick in the ruck here going to Edmonds. Had her jumper tugged. Garner gives it back to her. Edmonds. Oh, she'd want to get rid of this. She had a player coming from her blind side. Here's Conti again. That tag's not working, I'm going to say. Up the line, Wakefield in front. Punched away, Bailey at the fall of it. Gave it to Campbell, who got tackled off the kick from Riddell. You can hear the crunches from up here. Going in hard there, Mercedes. Mercedes going to win a free kick as well. His second free kick of the quarter already, right on the boundary line here on the broadcast side. Just backward of the wing.
Walsh wanted it, said it's going the way of Mercedes. Mercedes, short little right foot chip up the line. It's a good kick to Riddle. Riddle spins around, goes inside, gets Garner on centre wing. Garner's got it all in front of her. Also goes for a little chip kick up, so I wonder if they're strategising here a bit as Angelis gets it.
It's play on, surely, umpire.
Angelis again with a nice little chip up there, using it well, controlling it with a little bit of tempo footy. It's Whitford. Again, another little chip just further up the line. They're just 25 metres each of these as Garner gets it. This time Garner just goes long. She's got someone out on the lead as well, nearly brought it down. Instead getting there is Edmonds for the Tigers, overran it. Now the ball's in dispute, up against the boundary line. Walsh is roving the contest, she wants it up. Finally got the handball, it was at her feet, sees it out of bounds. Melbourne Uni nearly getting one underneath, sneaking it through there. Held up by pretty solid defence by the Tigers.
Well done by Gillespie Jones on hands and knees there, just was desperate to get it out. The boundary throw in. Inside 50 here. About 30 out from goal or so. Gillespie Jones into the ruck, who palmed it away. Her teammate just a little toe poke. Conti overran it, had to go back and get it. Did. Now she's dropped it, but she'll go and win it again. Conti gave it to the ruckman Edmonds. It should probably be happening the other way around, I would have thought. Now to centre half forward. Marsh in there for the Tigers, the tackler. Get a ball up right on the attacking edge of the centre square for Melbourne Uni. We played a bit better football, haven't they, Blair, in this second quarter. 55 out. Taking the footy and then giving it to a teammate. That was Bruton. Threw a bit of a barrel back inside 50. Not a great bounce in there, although Dempsey liked it, but the handball's gone straight to Ashmore, who might receive it again here. Ashmore will go around the body. She had a bit more time than that, Caitlin Ashmore, back into the side this afternoon.
Unlucky there, Ashmore. She came streaming through. The player on the ground just mistimed the handball and gave it to a half a step back. Had to swing the kick and ended up being affected, not straight. Melbourne Uni again, right in front of goal, just a bit smoother. They would have got that maiden that they're hunting. Has a whistle gone here? No, but they've turned it over. So the Richmond fullback turned it over to Moore. Moore again turns it over. It's kick to kick. It's Moore thought they deserved it back and finds a Richmond defender on the last line of defence. Now Richmond get out of jail with that. And a short chipped kick up went to no one. Now Melbourne Uni have got it. Handball came up, it's Bruton. Sizes the kick up, puts it out behind Ashmore with some space to run into. The boundary line won the race and it's out of bounds deep in the Melbourne Uni pocket. Fogarty Street end. They've travelled 6.5 minutes on the Choose Tap scoreboard.
Not a great exhibition of skill there that last couple of moments. Lucky to get out of that, the Tigers. That was a shocking kick in. I think that was from Dempsey. We'll get another deep forward 50 stoppage here for Melbourne Uni. Trailed by 2 kicks. Off hands. Kick back up towards the goal square, but in position 1A there. Couldn't take the mark. That was Graham. Now coming through here is Rebecca Miller. She's going to kick up towards the broadcast wing for her teammate to run onto it. That's Marsh. Didn't get a great bounce, but she's gathered it in the end. That is a good handball, although it's run away from her. And Bruton again, kick smothered. Now Nadia Moore. Inside 50, they've got a player out the back there. It's going to go beyond Price. It's going to go beyond that Richmond defender as well. That might have been Dempsey again and run out of play in the left forward pocket for Melbourne Uni. So they're having this quarter played where they want it. They need to get a couple of goals on the board. Get some scoreboard pressure. Melbourne Uni will get a ball in even deeper in attack this time. Only 20 out. It's a short throw in. Almost hit Monique Conti on the head. Handball will come here to Riddell, who goes around the body. Off hands there. I think that was Price. And another minor score for Melbourne Uni. So that's 4 minor scores for them now. Richmond 2-3-15. The margin is 11 points.
Richmond go out to the pocket. Still on that last line of defence. Really pushed back up behind it. Looks up the line. Alexa just throw it on the boot. Kicked it out into space, but really just plucked the university player in McDonald. Kicked it straight to her. Played on. Wrapped up. Dropped it. No. Just lucky not to give a hold in the way free kick. Hold in the ball, rather. And it's really in dispute. He was flying over. It was Conti. She stood up again.
Oh, brilliant.
Wheels around. Gives a handball out to a runner. Goes with a bit of a torp up the line.
Oh, well done, Enwell.
Was looking for Kennedy, but that was desperate footy by both sides, especially Monique Conti, who just barged her way through, made the footy hers, won it at half back for Richmond.
All the talk over the off-season was the big acquisition of Katie Brennan, and Monique Conti saying, hey, don't forget about me, I'm a Dogs premiership player as well. Ball in just full to the wing, Melbourne Uni. Edmonds went over the top and palmed it down. Riddell got ridden into the ground there. So I said, no, I'll ball it up. Still just full to the wing. Still no goals for Melbourne Uni. Played 8.5 minutes. Umpire gets us underway quickly. Edmonds palmed it down. Brennan in there, couldn't take the footy. Brancatizano's taken down in the tackle. It's a strong tackle too, that was Holly Whitford. Get a ball up 70 out from goal or so. Edmonds again, just punched it away that time. Brancatizano, really good win, really good handball. Woodward, another good handball as well. The kick smothered there by Ashmore. Riddell's in there again. Colwell stole it, tried to get rid of Bruton and then dropped it and holding the ball, said the umpire. Great tackle, Jenna Bruton. She can hold her head high. She's been wonderful in this first half, Jenna Bruton. Kick goes inside 50, but back there taking the easy mark for the Tigers is Jakes. She's got numbers on the outer side. That kick's gone across the face of goal. Graham's going to have to go over there and get it. The bounce up for her, although she lost it. Well done by that player in there. I think that was Moore. Couldn't win the footy though, and now the Tigers will get out. Kennedy out there, the skipper couldn't keep it in, and all she could do was watch it bounce out of play between wing and half forward for Melbourne Uni on the outer side.
So Melbourne Uni get it now. The last touch rule. The kick came inbound. It was looking for Riddle. She dropped it. Contest, and Richmond win a free kick. Richmond now on centre wing. Go up the line. It's a good kick
Great
too.
kick.
Finds Bailey on the lead. So Bailey now is within her half of the ground, looking at a pretty open paddock in front of her as they all stream back. Bailey kicks it smothered, kicks it into the woman on the mark with Mercedes. Ball on the ground now in real dispute. Flying in was a Richmond player. I mean Bailey herself. We're back up at it. Good tackle laid. Ball not travelling anywhere, and ball up outer side centre wing out on the Macaulay Road side. 10 gone. Richmond 2-3-15. Melbourne Uni yet to kick a major. 4 behind, and the Rucks go at it. Brought to ground. Still a really hot football here. Over the tops of scrum of bodies. No clean possession. And another ball up. Richmond gained 5 metres. But Richmond here, Brent, able to take a bit of the sting out of the game, throw bodies over it, take a bit of that tempo Melbourne University were able to find earlier. Just surging forward as again it's a disputed ball. This time Brancatizano came out with it. Kick from behind the contest goes up the line to the half-forward flank. Mercedes did well from behind for University to bring it down. Spoiled. Handball's now out. Affected though, it's on the ground. Brancatizano came out with it nearly. Now Melbourne Uni have got it. Handball went to Ashmore, is it? Ball's behind. Again, it's just a hot footy. Lots of players getting their hands on it. No clean possession. No one able to move out with it.
Oh.
Someone's sort of been pushed or thrown down behind play there.
Yeah, lucky not to be a free kick.
We're going to get a restart. 70 out from Richmond goal. The half-forward flank, Macaulay Road side.
It was Riddell, I think, who got put down for Melbourne Uni. Edmonds doing what Edmonds does, winning it down. Brancatizano. Oh, got a little kick, and it went straight to a teammate. To Serriero. Hack inside 50. Stahl is there. Stahl's going to win the footy. A little toe poke to herself. Clever little tap now to her teammate. The handball's going to come here to Ibrahim, who's into a tackle. They've done well here. Bailey might have been taken without it. It's come to Emma Gunn, who's threw it on the boot. They've got numbers in the goal square. Can Stahl keep it in? No, she can't. It's gone through for a behind. They had done well there, Melbourne Uni, to hold up. And then Emma Gunn happened. It's another behind for the Tigers. They moved to 2-4-16.
Got away with one there, Melbourne Uni. Tigers were absolutely out, as you said. That 3 behind the ball, including Stahl, who's quick.
And Emma Gunn doesn't usually miss those. She kicked a goal in that exact spot, same technique last week, Emma Gunn.
Ball up the line. Affected by the Tigers attackers, and Stahl
well done.
Wins it out. Now the handball comes out. This one's got Woodward, who just goes to the top of the square position. Brought down Colwell. Gave the handball out. Is it Bailey there? Nearly had it. Now a snap round the corner. This will be a goal. How good's that from Bailey? And Richmond get their 3rd.
It just looked ominous right from the beginning, didn't it? It was an interesting kick inside 52. I can't recall who that was. It might have been Woodward. She had a teammate in the pocket that was a skipper. You don't want to be burning the skipper inside 50 all too often, do you, Blair?
Yeah, Bailey just got a real opportunity there. And alternatively to Melbourne Uni, who've had a couple of similar ones but had a bad kick or missed the handball, Bailey just got it, turned around, snapped. Always going to be a goal. Just used it really well under pressure in forward 50. That's why they've got 3. Melbourne Uni, unfortunately, haven't got one yet. So we're starting to approach half-time. The scoreboard's looking ugly if you're Scott Gowans.
3-goal margin Just played over 13 minutes. Katie Brennan's back onto the ground and she's gone straight into the forward line for the Tigers. Colwell into the ruck. It's palmed away there. Colwell's going to win another clearance. She's been incredible when she's gone in there. Kick goes towards Brennan at the back. Almost completed the mark. Now she's over it. She's jumped on, fished a handball out. Now onto it here is Gunn. Gave the handball back. That was Graham or Brancatazano, I think that was. Kick over the head of Brennan inside 50. It'll sit up for her. Now she's gone with the fend off. Anwell's got her. Umpire gave her some leeway there. She did get the handball out in the end. It's a good kick here up the line. Bouncing away from that Melbourne Uni player now. Brancatazano's onto it. Not a great kick. It was well done in from the side there. That was Hay for Melbourne Uni. Wakefield, kick up towards Stahl, who's playing from behind. This is well played there by the defender Stahl, lunging in the tackle. Couldn't quite get it. It's a good kick too. Landed on the chest of King. He wants to move it quickly up towards the corridor. Beat a couple of players. Marsh, right in the middle of Arden Street. Gave it to Rebecca Williams. Kick to the outer side, and the Tigers have a couple of numbers. Kennedy decided to double back and go and apply the Shepherd. Birchall took all day to go and pick it up. Now she'll give it to the skipper in Kennedy, who just couldn't quite win it. Now Melbourne Uni have it. Bumped off it there, and a free kick. That was to Serriero, and that was a bit crude. And they'll have the free kick just on the back of the square. Lucille Marsh. Send it up towards Roan, who takes a good mark as well. Wasn't a whole lot that Richmond player could do about that, standing the mark. That was Birchall. Roan. Kick will find Gillespie Jones, who got away from Colwell. Kick inside 50 at the back. Tiger player might have been pushed out. Play on, said the umpire. This is well done here in the back line there by Rebecca Williams, or Miller, sorry. Kick to the outer side. The bounces for Woodward, she's got some time. It didn't sit nicely. She had Conti for company but couldn't get it to her. Now can Uni get something happening here? It's come to Garner, who gave it back to Bruton, who gave it to her in the first place. Handball back to a teammate who's sure on the left. Not a great looking kick. Courageous in there. That was Dempsey, couldn't take the mark. Now a little toe poke. Did well to work it to a teammate, and now the Tigers will get out the outer side.
So Tigers out here on centre wing. Nearly brought it down, roving it's Brancatazano. Couldn't get it, laying a good tackle was Walsh. Strong holds it up, because if Richmond got that, they were out, and Walsh does just what she has to. Pauses it up inside the square. It's a stoppage. Approaching the 16-minute mark here in the second quarter. As University bring it down, nearly hacking it forward was Garner. Ball was in dispute. Picked up, and the Tigers are out here with a long kick down the line to Bailey. Bailey kept it in front of her, went and got it. Walsh, her player, went down, and Bailey had a bit of time. Went up to looking towards Stahl, brought down. Now a tackle laid. Nearly standing up, getting out with the football was Wakefield. The umpire had a good look and decided to pause things up. So, again, there was a blast of quick, frenetic tempo football. Now Richmond are just able to put the brakes on. Surging forward. Coming out with it here. Might be Conti, is it? Richmond player just got out of the scrum.
well done.
But now the ball's out, and Garner kicks a long torp up Arden Street for Melbourne Uni. Chaos ball inside. There are a few there, but Shot was one that was good for Richmond to hold it up. They end up getting the kick out to the wing. Met the player up by foot, though. Gillespie Jones comes in, lays a really good tackle.
Footy.
That's holding the ball.
Great footy.
Wrapped up, Gillespie Jones. That's desperate football. Keep it inside their attacking half. Not put it back on Richmond's terms. Gillespie Jones goes up the line. Shot flew in the mark, nearly took it. Now the ball's on the deck. Came up with it was Angelis. Angelis turned it over. Panicked defensive Richmond kick. Ends up going backwards, conceding ground. Underneath it's Kennedy. She's set upon by King. Just got it out. Now we're at Colwell. Kicks all right. And they get out with one here. Richmond on the half-back flank.
Credit where credit's due. They have been sensational in the back line so far in this first half. The Tigers at the wobbly one up towards Brancatazano. Couldn't take the mark. Bailey V-lined it. Now Jakes just throws it on the boot. It's gone over the head of Wakefield. Anwell dropped the mark she probably should have taken. Now Stahl went and hunted her down. Stahl might win the footy here if it'll just bounce up. She socketed it forward. Well done, Taylor Stahl. Wakefield further afield. They've got Brennan one-on-one. Got a bit of an awkward bounce. Went and won it in the end. Brennan might go on the left here. Wakefield kept running and she's dropped the mark. Disappointing there from the Tigers because it was a great bit of footy. Now hacked out of there straight towards a teammate as well. That's going to hurt. And taking the mark was McDonald. Wonderful bit of footy from the Tigers, and it just come unstuck. Roan, wonderful fist from behind to Serriero. Oh, two Tigers ran into one another. It was Stahl and Brennan, and the Medicos are going to get straight out there to Katie Brennan, who's getting up very slowly. Meanwhile, the Tigers have gone back inside 50. Bailey's going to go and win it. Couldn't take the footy. Bruton worked her off it, and now Bailey's hurt. The ball's gone out of play deep in the left forward pocket, so the Richmond Medicos are going to have to earn their keep here.
Yeah, meanwhile, Brennan's up. She didn't want the attention from the Medicos at all. Walked away. She's doing her shoes up now, but she seems like she wants to keep playing.
Oh,
because we have a look at that on the
head
replay
clash,
screen. That she just was unbraced for that contact. Didn't know it was coming. Friendly fire, accidental, of course. But Brennan, she's back up. She's back at it.
Can't say the same for Laura Bailey. Laura Bailey's sore as well.
Yeah, so she was
They can't throw this ball in, surely. They've got to just wait and see what happens here.
That's right. They're running down the clock as well. That time on. Bailey, of course, her health's first concern as she's back up. She's very ginger.
Yeah, she's groggy, isn't she?
We're not having a look at her on the screen here. We go back underway. So we are underway. Bailey's hobbling off in the goal square. She might find herself with the footy if Richmond are able to get out from this contest. It was Brennan who got wrapped up again. Didn't mind that contact, so she's going pretty well. Ashmore from behind here did really well in defence to win the ball down. Then got the handball out, set upon again. Ashmore won it back. Free kick paid for a push. And Melbourne Uni got a very, very handy free kick the way of Daniek. 40 seconds left. They have one more surge. That kick no good. Richmond turn it over. Angelis has a little go. Gave the handball to King. Dispossessed. Got it again. Angelis there again. Just kicks one out of the contest. Puts it into space. Gillespie Jones can lope to it. She gets there first. Took her time. A couple of Tigers rove in. Kick up towards Ashmore. Brought down. In front of it here was Richmond player who laid a really heavy bump as well. Now coming up with the ball. Campbell. She's brought down, but Richmond managed to win it from the scrum, and they're away.
Connie.
How's Conti here? She tucked it under the arm. She wanted to go. Gave the handball to Campbell. Campbell up the line. Sprays it out of bounds on the full. And there's a siren. As we have a look down here, Bailey's getting a little bit of attention to her ankle and her leg, but the half-time siren is sounded here at Arden Street. Melbourne University, no majors, 4 behinds, 4. Richmond with the runner play, 3-4-22. That's from the Choose Tap scoreboard. Arden Street VFL round clash. We're going to go to a break and come back after this.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. You'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL, live on SEN2 DAB+.
I'm a digital radio. To help explain why it's time to update your old radio, with me is my friend Digital TV.
Hi.
There you go.
Remember when us TVs went digital?
Everyone does. Get to the point.
Suddenly you got lots more channels for free.
Yes.
Well, it's the same with digital radio.
When you buy a digital radio, you can get all your favourite stations plus up to 30 extra ones, playing all kinds of music, live sport and talk.
That's pretty great.
It's really great.
All you have to do is head into your nearest retailer
Or check out digitalradioplus.com.au
and upgrade to digital.
Your Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL Club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches' huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Stuart Appleby has come from 7 strokes behind.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Glad to have your company. Half-time here at Arden Street. Melbourne University, no goals, 4-4. Richmond, 3-4-22. It's half-time. We're going to go to an interview with North Melbourne's Brendan Whitecross.
Get involved in the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Visit vfl.com.au.
Great to have your company on the VFL Hour. Sam Hargraves filling in for Jack Heverin. In a little while, we'll cast our eye over the VFL performances this year and maybe just try and find out who's knocking on the door of an AFL call-up. This man knows all about AFL call-ups. He played 111 games for the Hawks. One of the really good players to come out of Brisbane, without a doubt. And I'm told by a good mate of mine, Rick Ladson, that he is one of the good blokes that you'll ever have the pleasure of meeting. Loves his troop carrier. I don't know if he's still got it, but we'll find out. Brendan Whitecross is now with the North Melbourne Footy Club as a VFL playing assistant. Whitey, hello.
How are you going, Sammy?
I'm good, mate. Now, have you still got the troop carrier?
No, I got rid of that a while ago, mate. Had to upgrade to some of the film seats for the kids. But no, I did love that rig, but I had to get rid of it, sadly.
It was a real popular vehicle amongst the players by the sounds of it. Rick Ladson spoke of it fondly.
Yeah, no, certainly with the amount of room in it. Certainly got a few of the players around at the back end of the season when all the mad activities were going on, so it came in handy.
Hey, mate, how are you enjoying your time now? You won a premiership with Box Hill in the VFL last year, which was, I suppose, long overdue for you. You weren't able to play through injury through the successful premiership years for the Hawks, but to have that moment last year must have been special. How are you finding it now at North Melbourne since crossing over?
Yeah, it was certainly a good way to finish off my time with the Hawks, and it's been through a little bit of adversity over the time, but to finally get a medal around the neck, it was a bit of reward for effort, I guess. But crossing over to the Kangaroos, I've really enjoyed my time so far. I've only been there for 5 minutes, but settled in really well. Everybody's been very welcoming, and the bunch of guys they've got down there in the playing group, it's certainly been very enjoyable to work with, so I'm loving it so far.
Mate, we remiss of us not to ask you, how did the events of the weekend impact on what you were doing last weekend at a VFL level? I speak, of course, Brad Scott. The story came out on Friday that he was going to part company with North Melbourne, and then all sort of hell broke loose, and then all of a sudden it's announced that, yep, this will be his last game, and the players didn't even know, and he had to speak to them when they rocked up at the ground. How did that filter down, the events of last week, to you guys at a VFL level?
It had no impact, funnily enough. The way that I wasn't at the AFL game, obviously because we played after them, but the way that the AFL group handled it was outstanding, and the way that they've handled it since then has been second to none. But we were made aware of it also pre-VFL game on Saturday night, but the guys didn't worry about it at all. They just got on with the job, handled it very professionally, and everything since then has been exactly the same. So it's not something that most players or clubs would go through that often. So there's no way to prepare for it, but I couldn't be prouder of the way that the VFL side and the AFL side handled it on the weekend.
Is it something now that what effect do you think it'll have for you this week? Does anything change around the place yet? We know that Rhys Shaw is now the interim coach. Is that going to affect you and Dave Loader and the rest of the VFL crew? Absolutely not. The way that the club's moved forward with it straight away has been very, very professional. Not just Shawry stepping up and taking the head coach role, but the rest of the coaching staff, but also the leadership group and the senior players know that they've got to pick up a bit of the slack now and move forward for the remaining part of the season. So it hasn't deterred us at all. It hasn't pushed us off course. If anything, it's probably narrowed our focus, knowing that we've got a lot of work to do. We're on the right track, but we just need to put our heads down and get the jobs done now. So in terms of the effect it's had, it really hasn't wavered at all. So that's been really pleasing to see from my eyes. Speaking of your role, you're also not just a development coach, you're not just an assistant coach of the VFL side, you're also playing. How are you going juggling all that, and how's your own form been this year? It certainly takes the pressure off me with my own form. Look, yes, you've got to play well, and you've got to contribute to the performance. But with the development coach role, I think it's really good being able to play and be out on the ground with the guys as well. Particularly for mine, I work pretty closely with the forward line players that are in that 1 to 2 year bracket. So yeah, it's easy just to sit there during the week and show them some vision and go through their review and do this and do that. But being out on the ground and being able to pick things up in the moment and put them in the right spots without having to wait till a quarter time break is, I think,
is very beneficial. It was a bit up in the air about how it would play out, but so far I think it's a bit of an advantage to have that out in the field, as well as the senior players that come back each week from AFL level.
What about the team itself? It hasn't been the greatest start to the season. You're 1-6, but showed some signs last week against Footscray, a team that is sitting second. 19 points the margin in the end. It seemed like a performance you would have been much happier with than previous weeks. How do you think you're tracking at the moment?
Yeah, it's the last 3 to 4 weeks have been really pleasing from our eyes. Yes, we haven't got the results, but what has been very pleasing is the response that we've got from our group, the work that we've been putting in to be able to put ourselves in a position to win games of footy. It's pleasing from our eyes. The weekend's game against the Dogs was really frustrating from our point of view, because we feel as if that was one that got away. We were in a really good position to come away with the points, but let ourselves down in the last quarter with a few disciplined free kicks, a couple of turnovers that were really costly in the conditions. So, yeah, we'd like a few more wins on the board, but we're tracking in the right direction, and that's particularly with a lot of the guys in that side that are developing players and trying to work their way back into the AFL side. It's all we can really ask for is just that continuous improvement and development of our players. So we're in the right spot. We've just got to keep plugging away, and hopefully we can turn the corner soon and start to get a few more wins falling our way.
Speaking to Brendan Whitecross, former Hawk and now playing VFL assistant coach and development coach at North Melbourne as well. Speaking of those players who, they come down and then they're trying to work their way back into the senior team, you are an AFL-aligned club. One of those in particular, I saw play a lot of footy in the last 5 years that I spent up in Brisbane and doing the Gold Coast and Brisbane Lions games with Aaron Hall, who on his day is as damaging a player as you'll see. With a full head of steam up and wind in his sail. I suppose the knock has been about his defensive efforts and the work that he does off the ball. So it would have been really pleasing to see the 9 tackles. He had 30, but it would have been the 9 tackles that you as a coaching group would have been the most pleased with his performance on the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, Hawley fell out of the side through a bit of team balance and a little bit of form. But at the start of the season, he was pretty unlucky with a fair bit of illness, and he was right for a week and then would be crook, and he'd come back in for 2 and get sick again. And he's got little kids as well, so having little ones around always attracts the flu and all that sort of stuff. Once he got his body right and he started to get a bit of confidence back in his body, the last 2 weeks at VFL level have been super from our point of view. We know how good he is, as you said, with ball in hand and breaking a line and taking the game on. But the thing that has really pleased us as a coaching group down at VFL level is the improvement he's showing in his defensive work and his ability to apply tackles and pressure inside the contest. But his leadership's been outstanding for us at VFL level, and it's taken his footy to a new level. And it's only a matter of time before he's going to be back in that AFL side, and taking that confidence with him is certainly going to be beneficial for us at AFL level. So 2 weeks of good form, it will turn for him soon enough.
Right, so he's one that's knocking on the door. Hey, from a mid-season draft, what did you make of it? Were you surprised that maybe some of your VFL-only listed players didn't get an opportunity?
I wouldn't say surprised that they didn't get opportunities. To be honest, there was a lot of... there was a bit of an unknown as to how it was going to play out.
Yeah.
I didn't think as many clubs would take picks as what was done on the night, but I think there are a few players that might be a bit unlucky, but at the same time, the mid-season draft, it's the first one, the unknown of what was going to happen, but it's another 6 months before the draft comes around again, and those guys in our side that will get an opportunity to put their hand up for an AFL call. So, yeah, it was a funny one. It was the first one, obviously, for a mid-season draft point of view, but I think it played out pretty well for a lot of those guys that had probably been overlooked in 1, 2, 3 or 4 drafts. So they get their chance now to put their hand up for AFL selection and make an impact at an AFL club.
And you're gaining one. You're getting Glenelg forward Lockie Hosey. You took him at pick 5 in the mid-season rookie draft. We don't know if he'll go straight in the senior side, or more than likely you'll probably get him at VFL level, 189 centimetres. He's a tall forward option. You've been struggling to kick goals at VFL level this year. Apparently he's been on the North Melbourne radar for a while, but has improved significantly. What do you know about the man that's currently leading the Sandful goal kicking with 21 from 8 games?
Yeah, it's a really good effort from 8 games, and the Sandful's a really high standard of footy as well. So to be able to kick that amount of goals in 8 games is outstanding. And from my point of view, I'll be selfish and say I'm really excited to have him because I get to work with him as a forward.
Yep.
But for his size, he's got a bit of endurance. He's pretty quick, good below his knees, and he's got a great set of hands. And obviously, his finishing work's outstanding. So it will certainly bolster our forward stocks. As far as this week, I would assume he would touch base with us in the VFL this week, just to give him a run. I think he arrives tomorrow, so he'll do all his induction, medical screenings, and all that sort of stuff, and more than likely play in the VFL. So that'll be great for us if that's the case, because it gives us another tool target up forward, and takes a bit of pressure off the sort of medium to smaller players that have been having to play a little bit taller over the last few weeks. So it'll be great to have him in the side. Speaking to him last night, he's certainly pumped to get a call and to be at the Roos. So it'll be great to have him. Hopefully he kicks a bag this weekend and puts us in front to finish the game.
It doesn't get much easier for you this week, though, does it? Footscray only lost the 1 game when you come up this week against the undefeated Richmond. If you lose this, does it change where your expectations are for the season, or do you still think that finals is an option for you guys?
We haven't spoken about finals a lot, or if at all, to be honest. We're in a spot at the moment where it is really about the development of our younger players on our list. And a few of our VFL players are in the same boat as well, where they're trying to develop themselves to become AFL footballers. So everything that we've seen so far is very positive. We're coming up against a side this week that are in really good form. They haven't just got good players, they have a good system, and that shows on game day, which is why they are in the spot that they're in. So we know we've got our work cut out for us, but as we showed on Saturday night, we know we've got the capabilities and the tools to be able to challenge the best sides in the competition. We don't feel that's any different for this week coming up against the Tigers. So we know that to put ourselves in a good spot, we've got to win more than we lose from here on in. But it's really a matter of moving forward in the right direction, making sure we're improving every week, and giving ourselves the best chance to win games of footy. So tough one, but it's one we're looking forward to.
Brendan Whitecross, I could chat to you all night, mate. One of the real good men in football, former Hawk, 111 games.
Welcome back to Arden Street. Here we go as we're underway. Melbourne University clear from the contest through Bruton. Now Ashmore's got it out on the wing. Ashmore gives a bit of a don't argue, wins it back, wheels around, runs her full measure, goes up inside 50, nearly getting under the mark. There was Angelis, got the kick away, up and under kick, no ground gained. Chol boots it forward, Ashmore underneath it, wanted the handball, didn't get it, until they go to Riddle. Riddle goes forward, nice. This time she gets the mark, Angelis. And Angelis, after a good passage of play from Melbourne Uni, going to line up directly in front, about 30 out, and it's Garner who's got the mark this time. Angelis had the first lead and bite of the cherry. This time Garner presenting. She'll line up for Melbourne University's first. Probably their best chance at goal we've seen today, Brent. Easy one from here, you'd say.
It's a lovely little kick from Garner as well, wasn't it? Right on the arc, just well weighted.
Here we go, Garner, 30 out. She'll kick from about 35. She props a little bit, lines it up. It's a good kick. Goal umpire moving a little bit. Oh. She's pulled it across. Melbourne Uni 0-5-5, still trailing the Tigers 3-5-23 in the third quarter of the VFL W round 4 clash at Arden Street here between Melbourne University and the Richmond Tigers. That score brought to you by Choose Tap.
So that's cut the margin to 17. 19 it is. Woodward to the outer side. This is Dempsey in the back pocket. I think they've put the behind on the wrong side of the scoreboard there on the Choose Tap scoreboard. They'll fix that one, so it is a 17-point margin.
Quite a new scoreboard here, I think, as well, here at Arden Street. It's just been up, I saw on Instagram this week. It's just been tweaked and ready for the VFL W VFL doubleheader here at Shinboner's home ground at Arden Street.
It's a flash one. Colwell couldn't take that mark on centre wing. We'll get a ball up. Right on neutral territory, and that was a neutral second quarter, wasn't it? It was a big arm wrestle. Umpire brings it in. Edmonds at the back for the Tigers. Palmed it away. And she might try and take it behind her head there. Couldn't. Punched forward by Brennan. Diving in there was Ibrahim for Richmond. Umpire will come across and ball it up again. It's Vivian Sard into the ruck, opposed to Elise Edmonds. She won it down to Sard, and then it come back between her legs. Brennan applies the tackle. Little handball there from the Uni player. Conti going in hard. Oh, did really well to trap it. Couldn't quite find her teammate. That was Ibrahim. Jakes goes in and applies a big tackle. And her teammates like that one too. They wanted holding the ball. Instead, they'll get a ball up. Just alongside the outer edge of the centre square. Edmonds again won it down. Ball's coming out the back here. Running past it there was Birchall. Conti in there. Oh, got an interesting handball, but the umpire said that wasn't a handball, that was a throw.
A couple saw it, didn't they? A few turned around. What are you doing?
Well, she hit it with a closed fist. And that's what the rule book says you have to do, so...
Umpire had a good think, a good look at it as well, though, so he's made the right call. As University go up the line, they get a good one on the half-forward flank. Goes up the line, out on the lead here. Spoiled from behind by Miller. Now the ball's on the deck in dispute. Fell down, looking for the handball up to King. King ended up nearly getting there. Now it's out in front of Graham. Graham gets on the bounce. Brought down and a tackle by Cox. And Graham actually stands up from that tackle. Gave the handball away to a runner who's set upon. And a ball up. God, you think Cox probably did enough to earn a free kick there with a chase down from behind.
Yeah, just about.
Umpire didn't agree. So it's a ball up on the Macaulay Road side on the flank position. Brought down. Underneath it here, handball to Brennan. Brennan streams away from the contest, gives a snap kick up towards Gunn. Gunn kept it in front of her, actually turns it over to her opposing number in Hay. Hay retreats some ground, gave the handball to Walsh. Now they go up, centre wing position and a good strong mark taken by Mercedes. Centre wing, Macaulay Road side.
And Mercedes ran her full measure, sent it back up towards centre half forward. Punched away there by Bruton. Somehow Brennan got it to Marsh, who socketed it out of mid-air, and it landed in the arms of a teammate. That's Ibrahim, Hannah Ibrahim. She's going to go laterally looking for Brennan, who will take the mark out the back. She wanted to move it on quickly, but she's got held up. Still just inside the centre square.
It's clever by McDonald there to just give a bit of contact to Brennan, keep her where she was.
Going to run around the man on the mark and go in on the left, and it goes straight to a teammate. Wonderful kick. And for the Tigers there, that's Cody Jakes. They can go back to kick their fourth goal. She's going to pass it off. It's a nice kick too. It's gone straight through the hands there of Campbell, who might have interfered with the Uni defender there. Play on, said the umpire. That's Sard, who gave it to Riddell in the back pocket. Clever little kick up towards a teammate. She'll get it back here, Riddell. Well, she's fumbled it. Dempsey has her. It's gone over the line. About 60 around or so from the Richmond goal. She'll be disappointed with that one, she, Grace Campbell. Wonderful kick, lace out.
It was a lovely
straight through her
kick,
hands.
just over the defender as well. It was perfectly weighted, as you said. Lace out. Campbell just butterfingered it a little bit. We're underway here underneath the scoreboard. Roving well, Sard kicks it around the corner. Looking for Webb, brought it down. The result is a tackle, though, by a few Richmond players. No territory gained by either side there, and another ball up underneath the scoreboard. Out on the Macaulay Road side. Underneath the Archives building here on Macaulay Road. It's brought down. Now, nearly getting the ball up here was King for University, but couldn't. Brennan got it. Brennan pushed away, seen out of bounds. Another restart to throw in. Outer side wing. Right in the middle of the Arden Street deck. Centre wing side. As the rucks get set. Ball's up. We're going back at it. Bit happening there in the ruck. Ends up going behind all of them. Garner got it, set upon, tackled. Brennan wants a hold in the ball, free kick paid. The umpire wouldn't have a bar of it. So we reset again. We're stuck out on the outer side here at Arden Street. We're going to get back underway.
Grace Campbell again in there for the Tigers with a strong tackle. The Sard's allowed to take this out of the ruck, then got tackled. Umpire said she just got a handball away. Here's Campbell again. Gave it to Jakes, bypassed Birchall and then coughed it straight up. Little kick here to Gillespie Jones, who gave it to a teammate running past, who can run to 50. She can have a bounce. She's going to open up the angle here, go on the right, and Rebecca Miller will just watch it with a lot of relief. She'll watch it go through for a behind.
Again, Uni having a good look at it, getting right up to a shot on goal.
Kicked 1 goal 6 last week, now up to 6 behinds.
So Richmond here result with the kick. Taking that kick's Dempsey, who goes out in the pocket. The ball's brought down now. It's a bit panicked here, but Richmond do well. They go up the line with
Colwell.
a good kick up to Colwell. Sat underneath it, dropped it. Good tackle laid. Colwell's got it again now. It's frenetic. The ball's in real dispute. Comes up, whistle gone. Free kick paid, advantage paid as Bruton goes up looking for Ashmore. But behind her out on the lead, mark taken. This one by Angelis. Angelis has a look up. She doesn't like her journey from here, just goes top of the square, gets it. Great mark taken by Gillespie Jones. She's going to go back, have a shot at goal, point blank range. You'd think from here, University might get there first. Gillespie Jones kicking up to the city end. Kick from 15, 20 metres out, directly in front, and she's pulled the kick. Gillespie Jones is unhappy with herself as well. Melbourne Uni 0-6-6. Richmond 3-4-22. They've only had one more shot on goal, made better of it. And it's Richmond with all the run of play for now. So we're getting the Sharon so that Dempsey can have a kick back in for the Tigers.
I think that's actually going to go to 0-7. They've taken a point off the scoreboard. They'll be putting 2 points back on in a moment. 0-7 Melbourne Uni. They trail 3-5-23. There we go. The Tigers will bring it back in from the city end. Brennan presenting. Lace out kick as well. Great kick from the Tigers from full back. That was Kate Dempsey. Kate to Katie, who's in the back pocket. She's going to come up here to Hannah Birchall. Still on the half-back line, and she's got Brennan, and she'll go back to her. Just a required distance, I reckon. Brennan. Still just outside 50 for the Tigers. Kick up the line. Colwell brought it to ground. Now the handballs come. Melbourne Uni up the line. Not a great kick. Brennan cut it off. Ashmore nearly got her. Kick into the middle of the ground. The Tigers do have numbers here, and a little bounce for Graham. Graham a sweeping handball to Marsh, who could have run a long way. Decided to kick it instead. Not a bad kick. Good punch from behind by Price. And now they might get out here. Melbourne Uni. That was Danique. Not a great kick, though, up towards the line as the Tigers have Elise Edmonds, the big ruckman, coming from the ground. And she's sore. And Monique Conti's going to get a 50-metre penalty here too.
So Alice Edmonds behind play there. Came down. She's really favouring her left knee. She looks in a lot of pain, so we'll monitor that and see how she goes. We're back in for the Tigers here. Nearly taking the mark. Brought down Stahl. Did well. Gave it away. She's got it to Conti. Conti lines it up. Has she got enough? Just sprays it across, and it's a behind for the Tigers. 3-5-23, Melbourne University 0-7-7. 10 gone here at Arden Street in the third quarter.
And she's not happy on the bench, Elise Edmonds. She's absolutely distraught, head in her hands. A couple of trainers working on her. That's not a good sign for the Tigers. It's that centre half forward here for Richmond. We'll get a ball up here. There's a big tackle applied in there from Nadia Moore. Ball up right on the edge of the square. They're just working on that left knee with the big Tiger ruckman. It's Colwell into the ruck for the time being. Handball out of there for Melbourne Uni. And now they're onto it. Danique again up towards the wing. Might sit here. It's a good win there from Davey, who was caught by Ashmore. It might be a free kick, I think. Caught high by Ashmore. Lisa Davey right on centre wing. Wants to go centrally. That option's probably come and gone. Kick up towards centre half forward. Going back there and taking a really nice mark there is Garner. She's been good as well, Jazz Garner. Kick up towards Gillespie Jones at the back, who had to punch. Well done, worked off it there by Bury, who then threw it away. Trying to come through there, Davey lost it to come back to Bury on the ground. The umpire said holding the ball. But Gillespie Jones will take the free kick. Just forward of the wing. Wants her teammates to work for her. She sat it on the head of Moore, who went back and almost took the mark. Bury throws it on the boot. Back up towards centre wing. Play going to ground there. Go to her teammate. It was Cox. Cox up the line. Ashmore about third in line. Couldn't quite take the mark. Good tackle from behind there by that Richmond defender. I think that might have been Marsh. Umpire comes across and says, I'll ball it up. 55 out from the city end, to which Melbourne Uni are attacking in this third quarter, and they trail by 16 points.
It's clever work there by Woodward. She was able to kind of drag it into the defender, but the umpire wasn't convinced. Now she almost gets it back here. Lays a bump, gave it out. Ashmore was there. She wants to handball that, but it's come to Conti. Trying to give it, don't argue. Ripper tackle laid by Whitford. Conti brought out of bounds. She was lucky because it might have been holding the ball otherwise. There's a little bit to say here. It's Whitford. Got a little bit to go on about.
She's not happy, Holly Whitfield, is she? She's getting stuck into Colwell.
Yeah, there's a few throwing their weight around there. A little bit of a push and shove, but we're back underway.
Colwell's got to get back into the ruck.
There's no ruckman here ruck for Melbourne Uni, but the ball went over all of them anyway. The ball's now eventually out. Kick comes up. Ashford's got it here on the half-forward flank. Ashford sells a McCandy. She didn't know she was dealing with Katie Brennan. She's brought down. Handball eventually comes up. Now kick to the top of the square. Nearly marked. Brought down now. Foot race.
Well
hacked
played.
Away by Richmond, and they can be out here if possession's gained by Ibrahim. She nearly gets it out, but she's set upon in a tackle. Brought down. Really strong Melbourne Uni defence here to not give it away and let Richmond stream off. But geez, there's a battle between Ashmore and Brennan on the half-forward flank. They're two of the best going at it.
She's a bit cooked as well, Katie Brennan.
I think she might be. As Richmond now get it from behind the contest. Kick away wasn't great. Handball went up to Graham. Graham got rid of it. Now tackle and the ball up. It's Melbourne Uni gain a little bit of ground.
Wonderful tackle over there just before a moment ago by Jess Anwell. On Hannah Ibrahim, they were out the Tigers if she didn't stick that tackle. Garner's going to keep that in. Gave it to Riddell. Scoot up the side of the boot. It might work. Price went and won the footy. Ibrahim got her. Now onto it here is Runnels. Handball back here to Walsh, who just threw it on the boot. Inside 50, Gillespie. Jones takes a wonderful mark. Had 2 or 3 players to contend with, but she made it her own. Went into the pack and just went clunk. And she'll be looking to kick a better football than last time. Went a long way left. Was lucky to score it behind. So Catherine Gillespie-Jones, 35 out. That looks better. That looks much better. The goal umpire didn't move, and they're on the board at long last, Melbourne Uni. They will move to 1-7-13, and that cuts the margin to 10 points.
Gillespie-Jones, as you said, Brent, finally gets a goal there. Much better kick of it. The goal umpire hardly moved, and suddenly it's a 10-point ball game, and they're right in it. They keep this run of play going. They're moving it well forward. Really good forward pressure as well, which we've seen from Ashmore. A couple of these underneath the ball. They're doing well. And I'm sure Scott Gowans is looking up from the box next door, pretty happy with what he's seeing. As we're going to get back underway here, umpire just making sure everything's in check. And meanwhile, down on the bench, we've got Alice Edmonds having a bit of run around. She's got some tape on. She's moving pretty freely. So it looks like her day's not done yet. We're underway. Out on the wing, Melbourne Uni go forward, kick over the top, running out, slashing a kick forward was Whitford. Whitford went up to centre half forward.
That's a
Mark's
mark,
taken
umpire.
here by Angelis for sure.
Play on.
It's paid, but she didn't believe it. She'd played on already.
Clever.
Garner tapped it down really clever to Gillespie-Jones. Brought down in a tackle. Now the ball's on the deck. Whitford lays a torp up to the goal square. They're going to get a mark. Neither of them wanted it. Ashford said it's yours. So did her mate, and they both didn't go. So instead, the ball's out of bounds, deep in the Melbourne Uni pocket. What should have been a sure goal.
They'll probably take that, though. They'll get a boundary throw in deep in attack Melbourne Uni. The momentum just starting to shift. Late in this third quarter, we've just ticked over 15 minutes gone. That was a clever little tap from Gillespie-Jones just before. Punched away by Tesseriero, who went into the ruck. Here's Chott. Got rid of it somehow. Jakes diving on the footy there. Jumped on. Umpire will come in and say, give it to me and I'll ball it up. 35-40 out from the Melbourne Uni goal. They've worked their way back into this game with just one straight kick from Catherine Gillespie-Jones, who was into the ruck and punched it away. Oh, and now caught from the blind side there by Melbourne Uni. That was Angelis. Ball on the deck. And the umpires come in and set in the back, and Melbourne Uni are going to get another free kick here. Getting up to receive the kick is Ash Riddell, who's been one of Uni's better players. She's seen something she likes, and it's a wonderful kick, and out to meet it is Jazz Garner. This game's just turned on its head in the last couple of minutes.
Especially if they get a goal here. Suddenly it's 4 points in.
She's going to pass it off. She's got something that she likes, and there's another mark taken there by Caitlin Cox, who's been good as well. And she will kick from about 30 out, slide angle. And this will bring the margin back to 4 points. Caitlin Cox. Big kick, this one. In she comes towards the city end. Kicks from 30 out. That looks all right as she got the distance. It's going to go right to the line. Almost a mark taken there. I think that might have been Garner. Ball's still in here. It was Gillespie-Jones, in fact. The umpire says, give it to me, and we'll get a ball up about a metre out.
Pretty unlucky not to get the mark there. Gillespie-Jones in front. Looked like, to me, she did enough to bring it down.
Into the ruck. Gillespie-Jones palmed it down. In there is Roan for Uni. Rebecca Miller comes away with the footy, gives it back to the umpire. Still right at the top of the square. Gillespie Jones palmed it away. It's come back to Miller for the Tigers, but it's sharked out of there, and they've kicked another one. Melbourne Uni, a kick for goal out of nothing, and that might have been Jazzy Garner again, I think it was. So there we go, they get the goal, an opportunistic goal as well. I don't know what they're doing with the scoreboard today. They've given Melbourne Uni the lead. They certainly don't have the lead, but they are back within 4 points.
And you can tell how much it means to the girls. They got right around Jazzy Garner. They gave it to her because it's a big, big cut in the margin to Melbourne Uni. They've brought it to within 2 points. And as we saw, it might be 4 points as we're having a little bit of scoreboard troubles. It's 4 points here now. It's your screen displaying, if you're watching at home, the correct score, which is now showing 2-7-19 Melbourne University. Richmond 3-5-23. And as we said, Melbourne Uni right back in this. As the umpire has a last count, make sure all's in order. We're back underway. As the ball's up, the Rucks go at it. Brought down, massive tackle off the ball. Which way is the free kick going here? Conti was involved, but so was her opponent. It looked like a bit of niggle each way, and her opposing number in Riddle has the ball from the stoppage. So Riddle's going to get a clearance here. Goes up the line, and a strong mark taken by Price, who cleverly just pulled the ball out of the way of the spoiler from behind. Kicks up now on the wing with Gillespie Jones. They look all right here, Melbourne Uni. Kick up the line to King. King has a good look at what's in front of her. She's got Ashmore inbound at full forward. Alexa go a little bit shorter. Gillespie Jones rows the pack. She's not very used to that. Usually the one winning it down. But now Conti's got it from the deck. Handball out to Brennan. They link up well. Brennan snaps up the wing. Inner side here, broadcast position. Conti then overran it. Now over the top of the ball's Marsh. Tackle, strong. Standing up, Marsh got it again, and a good tackle from Bruton from behind. She's dispossessed. Rolling scrum of bodies. The umpire finally puts an end to it. Calls the ball up here. True centre wing underneath the scoreboard position at Arden Street. 19 minutes gone on the Choose Tap scoreboard.
Colwell and Price, there's some heat in this game all of a sudden. Richmond know they've got to get going. Cesariero got the handball to Conti. Got out of the tackle. That was a wonderful handball to Chott, although it just went to ground level. Now Birchall in there. Gang tackle. Bruton got her. They certainly lifted their intensity around the footy, Melbourne Uni. Get another ball up right in the middle of Arden Street. Margin 4 points. 3-5-23 the Tigers lead. Uni 2-7-19, an inaccurate 2-7-19. And Jakes got tackled there from behind by Bruton. Wanted holding the ball, didn't get it. Price, it was palmed away there by Gillespie Jones. Now over it here. Oh, gee, it just wouldn't come to her. And then she got met heavily in the tackle. That was Courtney Danique. And they're going back here. Uni, they got on the half-back line. The handball come to Walsh. Richmond player got a hand in. In there is Kennedy, the skipper. Uni player might have been held without it by Birchall. Play on, said the umpire. Gunn and Gillespie Jones throwing their weight around. Gunn won the footy. Kick went nowhere. And there's the siren to end the third quarter. And Melbourne Uni had all the running. And as we turn for home, it's Richmond who have a 4-point lead, but they'll be really happy with that premiership quarter. Melbourne Uni, they've worked their way back into the game. They kicked 2 goals in that quarter, along with a few behinds as well. They're back in this game. They trail. They're 2-7-19. Richmond still with the lead as we turn for home, 3-5-23.
Those goal kickers in the third quarter there. Gillespie Jones got one. Garner got one for Melbourne University. Richmond didn't trouble the scorers with a major. We'll go to a break. Come back with all the action after this in the last quarter from Arden Street, VFL W Round 4 clash.
Your hard yakka totally workwear VFL club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coach's huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
I'm a digital radio.
And I'm a digital TV. Now, you may remember when TV went digital.
Yes, and you got a lot more channels and a better picture.
Well, buying a digital radio is the same.
Exactly. I've got up to 30 extra radio stations, plus all your old faves, and I sound amazing.
Yeah, but I look amazing.
Yeah, but this is a radio ad, so no one can see you. So if you want to hear this station like you have have never heard it before,
Buy a digital radio.
head into your nearest retailer and upgrade to digital.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. You'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it, doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL, live on SEN2 DAB+.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Looks to be the last game of the first set. Almagro leading 5-3.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Welcome back to Arden Street this afternoon. Very good to have your company. I'm Blair Morton, joined by Brent Sternberg here for the VFL Women's Round 4 clash between Melbourne University and Richmond. Melbourne Uni had a massive premiership quarter, kicked their only 2 goals for the day, 2-7-19. Richmond didn't get a major on the board, only one behind in that quarter. They're 3-5-23, and we're all primed here, Brent, for a ripper last term.
I think the Tigers could consider themselves lucky, that they're only, that they're 4 points adrift. I think Melbourne Uni, 2 goals, 7. They should be in front, really. They had most of the running in that third quarter, and they had chances in the first half as well. And we said all credit to the Richmond backline. They've done really well, but they started to take their marks inside 50 in that quarter. Melbourne Uni, that wonderful mark, about 25 out from goal from Gillespie Jones. If they can keep doing that in this final quarter down at the Fogarty end of the ground, I reckon they can run over the top of the Tigers.
Yeah, very good there. Melbourne Uni effectively reversed their first quarter margin by kicking. They kicked 2-3 in the term, which was the same that Richmond kicked in the opening term. So they've righted the ship. Richmond kicked 1 goal in the second quarter. They haven't kicked one, as I said earlier, in the third. So Melbourne Uni just starting to wrestle some supremacy away from the Tigers, and if they get a good last quarter going with a flow of play, it's really anyone's game.
Well, they're still winning that ruck battle, but as we said, sort of about the midway point of that third quarter, their midfielders, Melbourne Uni, are certainly starting to get on top. Bruton's in there, Riddell's in there, who actually come off in that third quarter. A bit worse for wear. Ashmore as well. And the intensity around the ball. We said during the break just then that Holly Whitford also is throwing her weight around in there, but they've lifted. I reckon they might have got a rocket at half-time because the intensity, even though they had opportunities inside 50, but their intensity around the ball in that first half, it was nowhere to be seen. They looked like a much different team in that third quarter, and if they keep that up in this last quarter, they're going to be right there at the end.
Yeah, and Alice Edmonds, who I've been watching or listening throughout the day, came off in that third term with what looked like an injury to her left knee, came off, got some treatment. She was moving very well before three-quarter time. She's back out there. She looks like she's going to line up. So good news if you're a Tigers fan. In the ruck, Alice Edmond, what looked like at least a day-ending knee injury, looks like it might have been a little bit more minor than first thought, and she's going to take the ground in the last term.
Yeah, well, they've dodged a bullet, haven't they, the Tigers? I mean, we'll see if she goes to this first ruck contest, but she's out there, and that's the main thing. Probably hasn't been as dominant as she was last week, but she's certainly been the better of the ruckman out there for the Tigers. But when she comes straight to the bench in that third quarter and they put her on the mat, and she was absolutely distraught, and we feared the worst, didn't we? But she was doing some warm-ups late in that third quarter with her tape on the leg there, and she is moving to the middle of the ground with Conti and Tesoriero by her side, so that's good news for the Tigers.
I tell you what, that is a imposing midfield, isn't it? You've got Conti, Tesoriero, Brennan.
Oh, and Katie Brennan, by the way. Yeah,
yeah,
well.
She's not a bad set of steak knives thrown into that little quattro as well. So if you're lining up against them, I tell you what, it's a surmountable task, having to stare down them when the ball bounces. If they get it on their terms, they all kind of complement each other quite well too. Conti's really in and amongst it, throwing herself around. Brennan, we know, has got the class, kind of outside the contest. It's a very good midfield that Richmond have been able to put together. as they're about to get us underway. The umpire having one last look around the ground. We've got a couple of spectators moving out on the Macaulay Road side. They're almost off. Very shortly underway. And it should be said, Arden Street looking absolutely fantastic here for its first ever, I believe, VFL W clash, and a long return for the VFL men's section, who are playing the double header here shortly. It's the first time VFL football has been back here at Arden Street in quite a while, with North Melbourne affiliate now the North Melbourne, no longer in affiliation with Werribee. But we're about to get back underway here. VFL W Melbourne University versus Richmond.
Sard and Edmonds is into the ruck to Serriero. Couldn't get a handball away. Here's Bruton. Brennan got her and then she just dropped the mark. Now Whitfield emerges with it. Good kick just over the head of her teammate. Now Dempsey's back there for the Tigers. It's a really nice kick in the end. Screwed it around and a strong mark. The umpire's paid it. Great mark to that Richmond defender. That might have been Jakes, is it? Just back into the square on the outer side. Oh, just going to send a Rainmaker up the wing. Wakefield's there, waited for it to come out the back, then spilt it, and gave it to Serriero. Eventually it comes to Brennan, who just throws it on the boot. Stahl inside 50, takes the mark. Just inside the arc. And she's going to kick out towards Kennedy, who gathered it, spun around, wanted to give the handball a couple of times, eventually did. Wakefield spun out of a tackle, went on the left, and missed to the left. Really good build up there from the Tigers, but Wakefield on her opposite foot just couldn't quite bend it back around. The first score of the last quarter is behind Richmond. They moved to 3-6-24. University trail by 5 points, 2-7-19.
So University got a long way up Arden Street to go, and it's just a long kick to centre half back. Dangerous, but it's out the back of the contest. Free kick, luckily paid. Play on. Here's Whitford. She's going down the guts, gives it to Roan. Overrun, pushing the back surely. Free kick paid. Whitford's going to take advantage again. She's got that twice now. Up to the top of the square. Full-back's in front of it though, but here's Garner. She sells some candy. Garner has kicked a goal and Melbourne Uni are in front. How about that from Garner? Wheeled around, and the play by Whitford was exceptional. Playing on twice. The Ron Barassi rule of handball, play on. Working here for Melbourne Uni. And Whitford and Garner linking up to kick an absolute cracker as we have a look on the replay screen here if you're watching at home. Have a look at this as Garner roves a pack beautifully like a little crummer, fends one off, wheels around on her right, a beautiful high snap. That is textbook football. Melbourne Uni 3-7-25 over Richmond 3-6-24. Not since a very early stage of the first quarter. Melbourne University been in the lead all day.
A direct footy straight up the middle of the ground there from University. But they're going to win the clearance this time, Richmond. It's Conti who sends it inside the attacking 50. Colwell waited for it to come to her, then got a handball away. Her teammates spilt it, bouncing around in there. Still going in there is Campbell for the Tigers. Now Colwell fell into the back awkwardly there of the Uni player. That was Hay. Now we get a ball up. 40 out from goal for the Tigers, who find themselves all of a sudden 1 point adrift. We said both these teams could score quickly and heavily, and that's what's happened at different stages. Brilliantly roved there by Brennan. Little fumble, second fumble. Now she's going to have to apply the tackle. Bailey, she's got Stahl here who got it. Couldn't get out of the tackle. Not sure how she got rid of it. Bailey again over the top of it. 15 out from goal. The umpire's going to come in and ball it up. 15 out from goal.
Each way bet there, I think, on Stahl. She wanted to hold in the player free kick. The umpire, I think, thought she dropped it, so play on.
Colwell trying to take it out of the ruck. Now she has. Oh. She's kicked the goal. Jenna Colwell. Brilliant footy from out of the ruck. Jenna Colwell. She's been wonderful in the ruck today, and now she's got a goal to show for it, and Richmond regain the lead. 4-6-30 the Tiger Girls move to. Melbourne Uni 5 points behind, 3-7-25.
Well, Richmond responding in the best way you can there as Colwell got one out of the contest. A lovely little quick goal. Capitalising on their inside 50. It's a bit of a shootout here early in this last term.
She tried to take it out of the ruck and then sort of fumbled it and then just took it away from the opposing ruckman and said, no, I'm going to kick the goal. It gives Richmond the lead back. What a great start to the first quarter.
The scoreboard being peppered. That scoreboard brought to you by Choose Tap. You can have a drink, fill a bottle up. Why buy plastic? Choose a tap and get your water that way. As we're back underway here and the rucks go at it. Brought down. Brennan's got it. Kicks it off the ground in the end. She couldn't gather the possession into her hands. And again, Richmond go off the ground. Here we go. Kick long up to the top of the square. It's going to bounce over the maul. Out the back. Who's got it? Stahl nearly Colwell was there, but seeing it over the line for a rush behind was more. Melbourne University get out of jail, get a kick in.
That was well done there by the defender back there for the Uni Blacks, and that's a good enough kick from Greason. Gillespie Jones in the back pocket for Uni, who will send it up the outer wing. Mercedes out the back, and it'll find her as well. Centimetre perfect kick there, dare I say it all. That's not a good kick, back inboard. And Brennan has cut it off, and she'll move it on quickly. That's a wonderful kick. That is a sensational kick inside 50. And this is Bailey. And Bailey's got style, but she's gone over her head and kept on running. Katie Brennan took the mark, and the skipper can go back to kick a big last quarter goal.
Tell you what, when the game's hot, University have hit the lead for the first time really all day. Katie Brennan stands up there. She's one out of the middle, gives a kick, gets a kick. She's going to line up directly in front, 30 out. You back her to kick it, but this is why she's such a good player. She's not just a jet. Her leadership on the field, she stood up when she needs to, leading from the front. Katie Brennan's going to go back for her first of the afternoon here, her second rather.
So directly in front to the city end. Directly in front. Hasn't quite got the penetration on that kick. Had to punch from behind there, that Richmond forward who's won it. Just inside the field of play. Or now she's lost. That was Wakefield. Now a kick to the outer side. It was Whitfield who had to go down. Couldn't get it. Gunn in there for the Tigers applying the tackle. We'll get a ball up just outside 50.
Unlucky there, Whitford. She got it on the half volley. Nearly slid in like a gully fieldsman to take the catch. Bounced up to her and she was set upon. They take the mark halfway out off the half back line. But this time they might be as the ball spills free from the contest. Guess who's there? Katie Brennan wheels around, snaps up, looking for Colwell. Bailey as it's got it now, brought down to the tackle, just gave it out. Did well to keep her, not quite her feet, but her knees, stood up in it. Now they're out. Ashmore lays a massive tackle from behind. Ball up in a hot spot for the Tigers. 30 out directly in front. Melbourne Uni defence is desperate. Ashmore leading the charge there. Colwell punches it forward. Doesn't get any real traction as it's roved by Moore. She's tackled and a ball up in effectively the same spot. Directly in front of Richmond goal, 25 out. We've travelled 6.5 minutes here on the Choose Tap scoreboard. We're back underway. Colwell put it down. Ball spills free in a little bit of space. Over it, here's Gillespie Jones. She just pushes it forward. Grierson's a beneficiary of that. She just kicks it up long down the line. Cut off by Richmond, who can regather. They mount their kick inside 50. Brought down to Graham. Plays on. She went looking.
Well played.
Contest, girl down, was Stahl. Taking the marks, Bruton. She can clear. Now Melbourne University in the pocket.
So again, they'll look to move it up the outer side. That's what they do. Richmond have numbers out there. Although Garner's won it out the back and she's threw it on the boot. Now they've got some space forward. Running onto it is Cox. Got away from one tackle up, then got the handball away. But she's coughed it straight back up. Dempsey's now going to run away from Cox. Left foot kick. Garner in front of Brancatisano. Cut it off. She's going to go laterally as well. It's a good kick. Gillespie Jones and Sard got in the road of each other. Gillespie Jones, she's over it. She might give it to Sard eventually and say sorry about that last contest. Good tackle from behind. But here the Tigers go again, mopping up off half back. That was Graham. Tiger play in the middle of the ground. He's going to get the free kick. It's Jess Kennedy. She's backward of centre. Brennan's all on her own over the top, and that's where she'll go. Brennan takes the mark. And she's got another player over the top here, so a good bit of build-up play for the Tigers. That's Ibrahim. Still just inside the centre square. She looks to hit up Stahl, and she does. This is great ball movement from the Tigers. Stahl 55 out or so. Brennan's worked their way back inside 50. It's another good kick, and Campbell takes a strong mark overhead. Wonderful footy from the Tigers there, from half back into the forward 50. And Grace Campbell can go back and look to kick the Tigers' 5th goal. She'll kick from 40 out or so. It's going to be a short run up. Well, she's going to give it to Stahl, who ran around the back, kick up towards the teeth of goal. Colwell couldn't mark it. It's come back to Ibrahim on the left, across the face. Garner will be desperate to see that go out of bounds. She won't want to have to contend with Katie Brennan deep in attack. And we will get a ball in the left forward pocket for the Tigers, who still lead by that one kick. Colwell still into the ruck here, opposed to Sard. Umpire brings it in. Colwell reaching for it, couldn't get a tap out. Now it's come to Campbell, who got a little handball away. Stahl Clever little paddle to Serriero with the fend off. Then the second fend off. Serriero goes from 40. There's no one home for the Tigers, though, and getting back is Mercedes to take the mark for Melbourne Uni.
Mercedes on the last line of defence, strong. This kick, dangerous. It was questionable. Roving it are the Tigers in Branca Tisano. Lines one up. How about that for a response? And the Tigers go in front further. Branca Tisano, the beneficiary of a gift. And the Tigers just starting to make that margin a little bit longer as we're approaching the second half of the last quarter here at Arden Street.
Well, they've had such a great second half, Melbourne Uni, but that's undone all their good work. That was an ordinary kick. Colwell couldn't get the hand on it. And Brancatizano got it, ran around Sarge, who was always going to get around her, and then steadied from 25 out and put it straight back over the goal umpire's hat. The Tigers now lead 5-7-37. Melbourne Uni trailing 3-7-25. It's a 12-point game.
Well, there's 2 goals that University kicked in the third. Sort of been quelled by Richmond as they just starting to get the arm wrestle back on their terms, but 9 minutes at least left to play. It's anyone's game.
Edmonds back into the middle. Couldn't win a clear tap out to advantage. Garner stripped of it. Now in there was Riddell, who got a free kick, and now she's going to take the advantage. Away she goes, Ash Riddell. Inside 50, can they get a mark? It's offhand, it's roved. There's a kick up towards the goal. Bouncing, getting back there. Miller for the Tigers. She's been a rock back there for the Tigers today. That's not a great kick though, and that's gone out on the full.
Probably take that, the Tigers. Just lucky that that ball sat up as it did. Gave Miller a chance to run on. But now here we go through Riddle again. She kicks from 40 on the flank. Flying as a contest. Chott nearly brought it down. Happy to see it out of bounds for the Tigers. Melbourne University's little attempt on goal there quelled. 3-8-26. Richmond 5-7-37. 11 minutes gone on the Choose Tap scoreboard in the last quarter here from Arden Street.
The charge with the kick in is Dempsey, who's got a couple of free players here. She finds Miller, who takes the mark. They've got numbers on the outer wing, but that's where Miller will go. She'll find a teammate between wing and half back. It's Graham. Didn't think that was a good kick, but sliding in on her knees was Stahl. She's left a divot behind as well, Stahl. Edmonds, strong mark over the top of Sard. Have a look at this bit of footy from the Tigers. Up towards centre half forward. Brennan works her way to the front and takes the mark. They've got a relatively open forward line here, the Tigers. Brennan has it. Just calling for players to come at her. Now she goes out into the pocket. It was a bit of a floater. Might work eventually here for Bailey, just inside 50. She goes back towards the hot spot. Ibrahim couldn't get it. Now the race is on for the footy. Colwell trying to bear her player down there. Couldn't. Bailey tackled Anwell, and now Bailey dives in there, but Anwell has it. Got it out. Probably would have preferred to lock it in there. Riddell. Oh, she's in trouble. Ibrahim got her play on. Kick back into a real dangerous spot for the Tigers. Over it here, I think that was Brancatizano who gave it to Edmonds. Stahl, handball back to Serriero. She gave it to Conti. Conti, slipped over in the tackle, then handball over her head back to Riddell. And now Uni will get out. It's a good kick too. King has it. Blindsided, danced around an opponent. That was Bury. King had a bounce. She can have another one if she wants. Inside 50. That's not a great kick. Davey going back. Dropped the mark she probably should have taken, and now she might be in a bit of trouble. Got rid of it. Uni player there will go and get it. She's dived on it there. In there was Miller. For Uni, that was Angelis. The umpire said, I'll ball it up.
Pretty lucky there, Richmond. Handball was looking just for space in the boundary line. It's pretty lucky the boundary line didn't end up getting there, because it would have certainly been deliberate out of bounds free kick. Now we're brought down by the ruck. Deep inside Melbourne Uni attacking territory. Overrunning it. Player tackle.
Never had the footy.
Whistle blown, and a free kick's gone the way of Melbourne Uni. 15 metres out in the pocket. The beneficiary of this kick's just getting up. And getting the ball here's Whitford. So Whitford, she hasn't kicked a goal today, but she's been very, very good through the middle. She set up a goal to Garner earlier on in this quarter to put him in front. Now Whitford's got a chance to keep the game alive. Whitford, 15 metres out. It's the angle that's in trouble. 45 degrees at least. It's not a terrible kick, but it's not good. Just sprays it across, and it's a behind. Melbourne Uni needed that one. They're 3-9-27. It's 10 points. Richmond 5-7-37, approaching 14 minutes in the last quarter at Arden Street. As we retrieve the ball, and the Richmond defender pretty happy to just take her time here and suck a bit of time off the clock.
It's going to be for the Tigers, Davey, to bring it back in. She's going to go to the outer side. It's not a good kick. It'll go beyond Riddell. Brancatizano. Did she keep it in? No, she didn't. So they We'll get a repeat stoppage inside 50 here, Melbourne Uni. Ball up, right on the intersection at the forward 50, or just inside 50 now. 10-point margin. Sorry, 11-point margin, so that might have been a handy point in the scheme of things. Gillespie Jones took it out of the ruck, gave it to Price. Price threw it on the boot. Now here's Sard, gave it to Ashmore, who got out a couple of tackles, or did she? She did. She's been given a lot of leeway. Kick up towards full forward. Graham got a hand on that and saved another goal.
It was a own touched, I think.
Yeah. That was very lucky from Ashmore. The umpire gave her a long time, probably because she just expected her to get out of the tackles. They've brought it back in here, the Tigers. Shot went up and took a nice mark. And she's got Campbell up the line screaming for it. The kick will go in her direction. It's hung in the air. Ball in from the side there for Melbourne Uni. That was Walsh. Wakefield on the left. Didn't get the purchase she would have liked. Garner over it. Got the quick handball. Now it's come back here to Walsh. Walsh kick up towards centre half forward. Riddell. Monique Conti couldn't quite get her. Gillespie Jones couldn't take the footy. That was well done there by Conti. Now Gillespie Jones has it again. Gang tackled. Must have just got a boot on that to Riddell, who sends a bumbling one up towards half forward. Bamboozled a lot of players there. Now they want holding the ball. Richmond again, they don't get it. Woodward had to apply the tackle in defence. And get a ball up, 45 out from goal.
Well, the Richmond bench underneath us here were up in arms. Yeah. That wasn't holding the ball, and I think they've got a right to be. Good tackle. Kick just went out on the ground. We're back underway now. Inbound ball on the deck. Here in Melbourne Uni's attacking 50. Oh. Another kick. This one's roved by Garner. She snapped. Oh. It's bounced twice. It's a goal to Garner's third. Melbourne Uni have got a pulse. 4 minutes left in the last.
Just gone over 16 minutes played. Look out. 3-point ball game. That was wonderful again. She kicked a very similar goal, didn't she, Jazz Garner, earlier on in the first half. Wonderful finish.
Tell you what, she's been alive in this quarter late. As we have another look here, a really good tackle from Garner. The ball spilled out. King was around it, and then Garner roved her own work. It's a lovely snap as well off one step, bounce in the goal square. Goal umpire looked at it go under his feet. And as we've said, it's 3 points at Arden Street. 3 points, 3 minutes, anyone's game. Do not move if you're watching or listening. Stay where you are. This one's going to go down to the wire.
Almost next goal wins territory. Ball back into the middle. They've put Price into the ruck, so Edmonds was always going to win that palm down. Conti's in there, and she'll just lock it in. We'll get another ball up just on the outskirts of the centre circles. Tigers, who have led for most of the day. They've got a 3-point margin late in this last quarter. And it's stolen by Price up towards the half-forward line. Didn't get a great bounce there, that Uni player. Graham dead. Handball. Campbell burnt off a tackler. She's going to wheel around and go up towards the corridor. Good use of the body there. I think that was Bailey, who then slipped over. Now Bailey might be able to go and win it. Well, Uni Blacks player's going to get there first and ran head-on into a tackle. And she'll get the free kick. And that's Grierson, who won't take the kick. It'll be a handball after all of that. Out towards Ashmore. Going back, Richmond player couldn't take the mark. Now out to meet it was Dempsey. That's a clever kick up the line. It'll stay in. Moore. Wakefield worked her off it. It's a wonderful kick from Moore. Didn't quite take the mark there. Might have been interfered with. Runnels. Kick skewed off the side of the boot. They'll want to keep it in here, Melbourne Uni. They do. Handball's gone over the head of Riddell. Riddell will win it. It's a clever paddle from Walsh to Riddell. He sends it back up towards half forward. Can they get a mark? They will. Mark or free kick. Take your pick. And here she is. It's Garner, who sends one up towards full forward. Got to stand under this. Well done there, Rebecca Miller. Brilliant. Davey kept it in front. Now back there is the skipper in Kennedy. Kick up the line, Woodward. She's out on her feet, but she's going to have to go and win the footy, and she did. She gave it back to Graham. Graham's going to give the handball. She's got a runner here. Little kick up the wing. That's going to bounce out of bounds, or will Walsh keep it in? Walsh will keep it in right on centre wing. Back up towards wing and half forward. Punched away from Graham. We'll get a ball in between wing and half forward. 2.5 minutes left. It's still the Tigers by 3 points.
As you called, Brent, Miller was exceptional there on the last line of defence. Went back in the hole. She'd have heard the lead coming behind her. Stood up when she needed to. Didn't complete the mark, but did enough. Brought it on deck. Let the Richmond Tigers come in and swoop. So we're back underway. Winning it down was Edmonds. Now we snap inside 50. Garner's there. This is for Melbourne Uni.
Oh,
the ball
brilliant.
spills out. They get around King, and now the Tigers are out through the guts. Kick goes forward. Walsh is underneath it here as the ball's on the deck. Handball went up. Now it's out to Walsh. This is for University. They're able to get it up.
They got to go now.
50 seconds left. A long kick up to the top of the 50. Garner brought it down. It was Angelis. Now the Tigers have got it. It's out through Dempsey. Dempsey goes up along the lane, looking for Campbell. Couldn't mark. Free kick paid in the back. Garner's got it. Campbell's got it. So Campbell pushed out from the mark. 30 seconds left. She knows it.
Don't have to do anything silly here. Just go long down the line.
The bench is yelling just that to her as the Tigers stream free. She's set upon from behind as she plays on. Kick just bounces inside. Tapped in. Melbourne Uni get it out through Walsh. Is there time enough left? Gillespie Jones has it. Boots it forward long. But a mark to the Tigers. They get it at half back. And they're going to hold on here, the Tigers. It's been a great clash. University surge, but there it is. You can see what it means to the girl down here for the Tigers as they hold on in a thriller. Melbourne Uni 4-10-34. Couldn't chase them down. Richmond 5-7-37. They hold on and they get the chocolates here today, the Tigers.
And it's fitting that the last play was an intercept mark in the back line because the Richmond back line can hold their heads high. They were sensational today.
Absolutely so. Some of the better players going through the list today. Brennan was outstanding. Conti threw herself around in the midfield excellently. Branca Tassano was great. Tessario was good. Woodward, Bailey kicked a goal. Stahl was dangerous in the forward line, and Colwell, Ruckwell, it's a bit of a pinch hitter all day. Looking up for Melbourne Uni, Mercedes, King, Gillespie Jones, Ruck kicked a goal. Ashmore was desperate. Trend was good. Garner kicked 3, obviously was excellent up forward. Bruton, Angelis also, and not to forget Whitford, who was a playmaker through the centre of the ground, ran well and used it. And that's how it is. Richmond 5-7-37 defeat Melbourne 4-10-34. The girls are coming in to shake hands, and we're having a look, if you're watching it, a couple of replays. And we'll be with you for a few more moments before we go to a break. And we go into the VFL pre-match. So stick around. We're going to roll into the VFL and bring you the clash between North Melbourne and the Tigers.
It's a great win from Richmond. They're obviously 3-0 now. They'll stay on top of the ladder. And Richmond next week will be back at home against the Cats. And Melbourne Uni will go to Williamstown to Downer Oval to play the Seagulls. So that'll be an interesting game.
Brendan Whitecross, we've seen Richmond just hold on, as we said, in a pretty low scorer. Bit of a thriller. Melbourne Uni will be disappointed not to have won, but do they take positives away from that today?
Yeah, well, I think once again inaccuracies killed them, haven't they? I mean, I think they finished 4 goals, 10, had some opportunities again in that last quarter, but I think credit where credit's due. You just got to give credit to that Richmond back line. They were sensational. Lisa Davey back there, Dempsey, Rebecca Miller, they were wonderful. But look, this is a good Melbourne Uni team. I think they have to be honest with themselves and know that they've played a team in Richmond who have put a strong team together. They're going to be in the AFL W next year. They're going to be a contender for the flag this year. And Melbourne Uni at home, gave them all they could handle. They were out of the game for much of the first half. So if they can just sort of fix a few things, they need to start beginning matches a bit better. But no, there's certainly some things that they can take out of that match. And the great thing for them is they had some of those wonderful players, Ashmore and Garner and Gillespie Jones, who were back into the team this week. Well, especially Ashmore and Garner, who didn't play last week, and they were a few of their better players. So it's onwards and upwards for them. They'll, like I said, got a tricky game next week against Williamstown, but I think there's a lot they can take out of that game. There was opportunities there to win it, and they didn't. Just got to start to find ways to start kicking goals instead of behinds.
As you say, Ashmore and Garner, they're 2 big ins this week, and they were excellent. Ashmore was one of the playmakers from the guts, and of course Garner kicked 3. So they're absolutely standout players today. Disappointed they couldn't get the chocolates, but as you said, they need to kick a bit straighter, and they'd have been right in the game. They had more shots on goal in the end, just couldn't quite convert them, and it hurt them in the end.
And that'll come. I mean, last week we said they kicked 1 goal 6. This week 4 goals 10. Sometimes, throughout the course of a long season, you just have weeks where, throughout the team, and just, you don't take your opportunities that'll come, and when that does come, they're going to start to win games. The bigger worry for any team is those opportunities aren't coming. They're getting the opportunities and they're not taking them. That will change. And yeah, when it does, like I said, they'll start to win some games. But they've played a strong Richmond team here this afternoon with plenty of AFL W listed players in there. And next week, like we say, Williamstown, that'll be a tricky game as well. But I don't think they could, they should hang their heads, Melbourne Uni. Like I said, they sort of shot themselves in the foot there in that first half. And, they got the lead in that last quarter and couldn't hold on. That's what happens.
Other games today, Hawthorn and Williamstown went out at a point. Jollybrand, Melbourne Uni and Richmond, we bought 2 here today. Richmond got the chocolates. Essendon and Carlton are at Windy Hill. Collingwood take on the Northern Territory Thunder at Victoria Park. Tomorrow, we got the Western Bulldogs taking on the Cats and Casey against the Saints, while Darebin have the bye. And as we say goodbye to our video stream audience and our SEN2 coverage of the VFL women here from Arden Street, and we will go in to the VFL pre-match here from Arden Street. So thanks for being with us. I'm Ben Blair Morton and Brent Stenberg. Thanks, Brent.
No worries, Blair. Thanks for having me, mate.
Thank you from watching at home and listening, and we'll be off for the VFL preview right now.
On the sporting capital, this is the VFL Hour. Get involved in the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Visit vfl.com.au.
What a week it's been for the VFL. Mid-season draft this week. There were some big surprises, some big names that we thought were absolute Monties to get taken in the mid-season draft that actually didn't. So we'll cover off on